Live from beautiful downtown Bastrop, it's time for the Stage Select, starring Julian Titus and Justin Ham.
What could this possibly be? Seems a lot like a podcast. Wonder what specifically. Talking about video games. With your hosts, you're in good hands. Not more of the same. Now we'll jump right in. So expect the unexpected and more. Now we'll get grooving. There ain't always gonna walk through the door. There just might be some strategy in this. Just having fun with our special guest. Time for Stage Select.
And here are your hosts, Julian Titus and Justin Ham.
Welcome, one and all, to the Stage Select. I'm Julian Titus.
And I'm Justin Ham, and I'm on my third bottle of water. It's been a night, let me tell you. And I'm hyped about water, let me tell you. Me and hydration like this. I'm not doing anything in the camera to indicate how close we are, but we're, I'll stay hydrated sometimes. Just sometimes. Yeah. I don't really got anything other than I got a new phone. That's fun.
Oh,
Yeah. That's entertaining.
you didn't hit me with the new phone who dis when I texted you today.
No, I didn't, because getting a new phone isn't as fun as it used to be, because it just moves all your stuff over automatically.
It does. Like nobody's fallen for that anymore.
Yeah, and it's like it's very like uninteresting, like for the most part, because like everything's the same. Like even my background's the same as it was, because it was just like, yeah, do you want to transfer everything over? And then as it did it was just like, oh yeah, it's just the same phone, but like better now. Because I got I got the fancy Galaxy now, because I got sick of my other one fucking randomly freezing on me.
How much AI shit is this one saddled with?
A lot that I've turned off. I've been like, don't need that. Don't even want that to come up. Like if on this one, if you hold the fucking power button and it's like, yeah, here's the AI assistant. I'm like, nope. Let's make that an actual power thing. Like it's supposed to be like God fucking intended. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, that's been my life. We'll jump right into it here, Julian, because you pitched starting with this, and I have the perfect way to start with it. I've said for a long time that every time we predict something, it will inevitably be wrong. And that's kind of what happened with the whole giant bomb thing.
I am historically bad with game predictions.
You and I both. Like every time we're like, yeah, I'm gonna call. I think this is gonna happen, and then no, definitely not what happens. Which is sometimes good.
Sometimes good.
Sometimes
in this
good.
case,
sometimes bad.
Giant bomb made us some fucking liars.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them.
Good for them. Yeah, literally the weekend that I was editing the show, and I did manage to get like a editor note into the episode, but I wanted to talk about it here because it's important to us.
Yeah,
I've paid attention to the story, and it was a rare situation of a shitty corporation being less shitty than normal.
Yeah, right.
Because basically, when all of the backlash happened, the suits at Fandom were like, "Let's find a way for you guys to like take this from us,
right? And
just." If you can put the money up,
or
you can have this,
right?
They put the money up, and so I think the main deal makers were Jeff Grubb and Jeff Bakalar.
Yeah, seems that way.
But then they brought in Jan Ochoa, Dan Reichert, and Mike Minotti as co-owners.
Wasn't it Grubb and Reichert that bought it though?
No. It was actually Grubb and Bakalar.
Okay,
were like the main deal makers.
Okay, got it.
Which makes sense.
Which does make sense. Yeah.
Bakalar was always like the business guy.
He always seems like a business guy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's why they had him there.
I watched the PAX East panel where they announced it, and one of the things that I thought was interesting was Jeff Grubb. He looked at Bakalar and he was like, dude, like after the last like few days of like being in meetings and stuff, I I can't believe how much you shielded us from and how much you protected us
Yeah.
like over the last few years. And he was like, thank you, man. Like,
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. I 100% believe it.
Because it sounded like a real raw deal, man. And yeah, it sounded like what fandom wanted to do was, I mean, we talked about them wanting them to be PG-13 and family friendly and whatnot, but it sounded like the ultimate goal for them was to like just turn Giant Bomb into a game guide content farm.
Yeah.
With, and just like get away from the personality driven thing that is the whole
That's
goddamn
the whole
reason why people like Giant Bomb.
Yeah. Yeah. So that probably wasn't ever going to really work out.
They've got everything. They're still transitioning over, and I know that because I looked to see like how much does it cost to run an ad on Giant Bomb.
Yeah.
But it was still like the contact info was still fandom, and I was like, I'll wait.
Right.
I'll wait until the dust settles.
Yeah.
To see what that's like, but they're still sticking with like the premium their subscription model that they had for years.
Right.
It's just now that's like the sole. Well, not the sole income, but that's like the main source of income driving the site now.
Yeah.
And then, of course, sponsorships and stuff like that. But I went ahead and threw $100 in for an annual membership. I don't know how much I'm going to really engage with Giant Bomb because, like, I listened to this week's Bombcast and I was like, it's better than the last couple episodes I remembered listening to, but it was still like, that like let's hurry up and get to the news type thing and whatnot. But like this being like the core, and it's probably going to end up being like really just Grub, Jan, Dan, and Minotti for the bomb, because that's how it had been. Like Bacalar hadn't really been on a lot of like bombcasts from what I understand recently.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so there you get like you've got Grub as the news guy, you've got Jan as the host who they both dabble in games, but then you have Dan and Mike who do actually like play things pretty hardcore. So that's a pretty good split.
It's fine.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's nice having I have the no ad feed on my phone because like that was the other thing is when podcasts turn on just like the ad
switch button.
It makes things rough. I stand by No One Can Know About This. It's my favorite podcast, but they turned that lever on and it makes it really hard. I was not aware of that because I have the Patreon feed.
Right.
But 60XL had started listening to the show and they were like, man, it's really good except for these ads. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then I downloaded one from the public feed. It's like, oh, this ruins this show.
Yeah.
Because like they'll break in the middle of sentences sometimes because, those episodes weren't built around ad breaks.
Yeah. That kind of ruins the flow. I could see that for sure. I always like when there are some that structure it around it, and I think you can do some sort of timestamp thing, and
you can.
And I'm some sort of weirdo that loves the fucking weird ads that come on because some of them are terrible, and I thrive on terrible fucking advertising. It's one of my favorite things, but like it's not for everyone. I get it.
It's not, no. And like full transparency, I could flip that lever. Like even though we're a small show, I can press the button and put ads in here, but we're never gonna do it.
Probably
like,
not. No.
That is my promise to you. Like no matter how well this show does, that is not a thing that I want to do.
I'll
like
read an ad. That'd be fun. That'd be great.
I might be open to that type of thing, but it would have to be something that I actually give a shit about.
Yeah,
and not,
sure.
Not,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want our support of something to actually be like, no, if they're advertising it, it's something they like.
I just always some of my favorite old Super Best Friends and Castle Super Beast moments are some of their ad reads that they definitely got in trouble for, but they were great anyway. It was something about it. So yeah, that's
I don't want to be reading someone else's ad copy,
right,
and whatnot. And it has to be a product that I actually like give a shit about
for sure.
I don't want to lead people astray. Really, the thing that I wish we could get going is like the Amazon affiliate link, where like when we're talking about games that we like, we just put the link.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
In the show notes, so people can like, if they like the game, they buy it from the link, and then we get
that'd be fun.
Little bit of a
kickback
commission.
Yeah, commission. Yeah, that's probably the right term, huh?
Yeah. Kickback sounds dirty.
I was going to say mine makes it sound like the mafia is involved. So yeah. Well,
get a taste. I
that's
just want
fun.
a taste.
Yeah, that's fun though.
Yeah. But no, super happy for the guys.
Good
at
for
Giant
those guys.
Bomb. It's interesting too, and I want it. Man, we'll never get the whole story, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it was actually the corporate aspect of it that was keeping them from doing things with certain people, because I thought it was very interesting that like all of a sudden Dan Reichert's on the Jeff Gerstmann show.
It was. I believe I can't. At some point, I was reading Reddit because I'm on the Reddit for like Nextlander and a couple other things too, and somebody had mentioned like, yeah, Jeff at one point said that he is banned from like have the Bombcast stuff, like because of I want to say it was Red Ventures banned him or something like that, but like he was banned from there, like he was not allowed to go on. And not even as a guest, like he couldn't just show up and be like, hey, yeah, I'm here doing this and talking about video games. Like not allowed. Done.
Wow.
And I wouldn't doubt it if it was similar for the Nextlander. Well, no, they were allowed on there, Nextlander, because they left. They left on their own terms, but Gerstmann got fired.
But also they left before the fandom shit.
Yes, they did.
That's another thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Things are starting to make some sense.
So now we'll see how that plays out.
It still breaks my heart that Jeff and Nextlander have not done anything.
Yeah,
because there's nothing stopping them. They're both independent, and they rarely even mention each other.
Apparently, Nextlander's I haven't listened to it. I really should, but on their podcast they were talking about it being weird. Giant Bomb basically becoming independent because of their status
I listened
in
to
it.
That episode today, like they were basically like, man, because they were like, all the best to like the guys over there, like this is super cool,
right?
And Vinny was like, I just wish that we could have bought our Giant Bomb, right? Like they've got their Giant Bomb, but they were like, we didn't want to leave,
right?
The shit that was going down just wasn't tenable anymore,
right? Yeah, no, that's what it seems like on a lot of levels. Like everything I've heard Gerstmann say, he was like, no, it was a fucking mess. Like it was just bad all the way around. It was, and I'm gonna guess that those guys weren't dumb, and he was probably being like, look guys, you should probably get the fuck out of here, honestly, if you can.
Yeah,
I would not doubt it.
I really hope that No Clip does like a full on documentary.
That'd be great
someday.
Yeah, that'd be really great.
I would pay for that, actually.
That'd be fun. Yeah, no, I'd be curious. There's more than the one story I'll never get is the super best friends breakup. I really want to know what happened there. Like I will never get that fucking story, and it bothers me. You
got me into Castle Super Beast, and so then I went back and I was like, okay, let me see. What the because it's all in the feed. Like the original Super Best Friends episodes are all in the feed.
There. Yeah.
So I went all the way back and I was like, okay, let me go listen to the first episode of Castle Super Beast.
Yeah.
And I could tell there was like a break, like a pretty lengthy break between the last episode of Super Best Friends and that. And you listen to the first episode and there's like no explanation of like where they've been, like what the new show is.
Because everybody coming back knew what was up. Like, because there was like, you can go on the old Super Best Friends YouTube channel. It's still there. And the last video up there is the breakup video. And it's like, and I remember it came out of kind of nowhere. Like, it was just like, holy shit. Like whoa, okay, they're done.
But there's people who are only podcast consumers, right? Like,
yes.
Historically, like, I was a Giant Bombcast listener. I didn't really mess with a lot of the, like, stuff on the website. Mm-hmm. So, I appreciate it when they would explain stuff when they were talking about videos that they had done, because like, oh yeah, I probably didn't see that. And that's actually a problem I've always had with Castle Super Beast is like, it's not ever friendly for like new listeners. Like they never introduce themselves, they never like say what the show is or anything like that. It's just like it just starts.
It's which I see. I like that though. I'm into that because I'll figure it out as I go. Like that's just kind of and
I like being friendly to new listeners.
Yeah. I'll figure it out as I go, and that's kind of what I did. Because the first episode I remember being like, this is kind of different, and I don't think I made it through the full thing, but if I remember correctly, not everybody was on the very first episode that I listened to. I think This was Super Best Friends. I think Matt was gone. He went to WrestleMania or something, and they had a guest on the show. And I didn't really like care for the guests. I came to like them more later on down the line. But like at that point, I didn't know who the hell they were. And I was like, I don't really care for this, but I don't know. I'll try it again down the road. It was funny in spots, but it was also a long show. It always was. And then I think I came back to it, and the more I listened to it, because I kept running out of stuff to listen to. I was working 12-hour shifts a lot at that point, so I was running out of shit constantly. And I came back to it. I was like, there's something to this. And then slowly I learned who everybody was and how all the stuff, and came to like it. And then I started watching the YouTube stuff and went from there. But like, yeah, that's one breakup I always super curious, because the way it's pinned in the breakup video is that basically the two people that started it, which was Pat and Matt, don't like each other anymore. Like, and so, and I was just like, oh wow, did not see that coming, but at the same time kind of did. Like, it's hard to explain. There's the Star Trek playthrough that I think is still up, that one you can you start to like.
I've seen clips from that.
Yeah, that one's weird. That one I remember being like, this is different for some reason. This feels different. Like they feel actually mad at each other. There's not like, sometimes they're playfully pissed off at each other. This is not that. But yeah, I still want to know what happened there. I think I just my personal fan theory here was that Matt had started his own YouTube channel, which, has done really well. And that started to take off, and he was just like, kind of don't need this anymore. And then I can be my own boss and do what I want to do and do all the stuff that I feel like doing, and just kind of split from there. But, and also I'm mad at this person, so it kind of works. I don't know exactly what happened, but that's what it always feels like. But yeah,
the world may never know.
We may never know, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, before we move on, I just wanted to say real quick, hey, if you're listening to this and you're like a newer listener or whatnot, or you haven't before, just say hi.
Yeah.
It's weird. Lately, we've been getting like a shit ton more downloads in a week than normal, but not of like the current episodes. It's actually older episodes.
That's fun.
And so that always tells me that like there's new people checking out the show and going in order.
Why not?
But this has also been like not necessarily like totally in order. Like there's been like weird, it's like, okay, like the Sweet Tea podcast episode 1 got downloaded today randomly.
Nice.
The Julian Titus episode, which is the solo episode that I did while we were on break. That one always terrifies me when I'm like, please don't let that be your first episode. Like it's a bit. It's not.
Yeah.
Reach out. It's really nice to hear from people. Actually, we had a couple people join the Discord this week just to say hi.
Right.
And it's like that's really nice.
Cool.
Like maybe they're not going to be like sticky, like hanging around the Discord constantly, like a lot of the listeners are, but it's just nice to know that you're out there, or just like shoot us an email or whatnot. We're a small podcast, and it actually does make a difference when listeners reach out and give us a shout.
Feel free to add to the CQC thing that we do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, I think that's one of the nice things about being a small podcast is that like we actually can get to everything. I would like it to one day be to a point where like we can't get to everybody's stuff all the time. It's not like a giant bomb situation where you send in an email and like you don't even know if they're going to read it because there's so many coming in.
No, it's not
every week. All right, Justin.
What?
Hear me out.
No,
listen. Hear me out, man.
I don't want to.
I've been spending a lot more time on Snapchat lately, and
why?
I've been really fascinated with like the actual like shows or whatnot, like the content feed of like just like what people put together.
I don't know why you're on Snapchat, but you need to stay away from that girl. Okay, stay away.
Well, I used to have friends on Snapchat.
Okay.
I've only got like one friend on Snapchat now. But again, I got fascinated with like the content on the actual app.
Okay, sure.
And there are podcasts that post videos on
exclusively to Snapchat, or just everywhere.
To advertise their podcast.
Okay, all right, sure. Okay, great.
Right, and they've got like hundreds of thousands
people
of followers
people
on
looking
Snapchat.
at the Snapchat. Okay, people
looking at the Snapchat. And so what I've discovered, Justin, is so what we need to do is we need to create viral moments in this podcast that I can then convert into like a Snapchat or a TikTok or whatnot.
Okay.
And just blow up. But here I've done my research.
Okay.
The crucial thing, Justin.
Okay.
We just fucking lie.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine.
We just make shit up, but we say it with such conviction that then like what happens is people start commenting either because they believe what we say or to call us out on our bullshit. Either way, it drives the algorithm. It's all about
engagement, right?
It's all, exactly. Yeah. We're gonna do a couple of these, right? So
okay,
I'm gonna say shit. The important thing that you need to do, Justin, is just be surprised and interested in what I say, but also just agree with whatever. That's key.
I don't know if I have that in me, but okay.
No, I believe in you. This is for the sake of the show. And what I'm going to do is that then I'm going to clip it out and I'm going to put like some like dramatic music under it.
Okay.
And it's going to blow up.
All right. Absolutely. Sure.
All right. Here we go.
Here, I'm going to ruin it, but it's fine.
So it turns out, Justin, GTA 6 is actually going to be a next gen game.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. See, the delay into 2026 is a stalling tactic before they reveal that the stuff we've already seen is from a soon-to-be canceled game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. The real GTA 6 is probably not likely to launch until 2030 at least.
Okay.
And take place in a totally different city.
Right.
Because Rockstar wasn't happy with how their current build was shaping up.
Oh, that makes sense. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Boom. There we go.
That was it?
That was it. Just fucking like bullshit.
I mean, yeah,
just total lies.
That was a blatant lie, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was good. That was easier than I thought. I wasn't sure if I was gonna.
No, but perfect, dude. That's it, man. We're gonna get so many views on that.
That's good.
All right, let's do one more.
All right, sure.
You know how Nintendo used to make Hanafuda cards before making video games?
Like the playing cards?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it turns out before that, they used to make these elaborate tarot cards.
Okay.
And these cards were said to have demonic powers that were used in ritualistic sacrifices and devil summoning.
Well, that makes sense. That just makes sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why to this day, Nintendo is super secretive about its business because they don't want people to find out about this.
Right. Their deal with Satan.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right. Boom. And then we got another one.
I just have to say this makes sense. Yeah. That's all. That's good.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm better at this than I thought.
Oh man, the shit that dude.
I'm sure it's terrible. Yeah, I'm sure it's real bad.
Man.
I'm sure it's a lot of that.
Yeah. All right. Well, what have you been up to, Justin?
I don't know. Stuff. I've been up to some stuff. Let's see. I haven't gotten to stream recently. I
noticed.
Yeah, my Saturdays got a little bit busy. I was gonna do it on Saturday. I need to figure out a day that I'm gonna move it to because I'm like, I don't know if Saturday's gonna be doable. Like I got home that day, I was like, I don't feel like doing this. Also, kind of like lacking something to actually stream because I keep looking around. I'm like, I don't really feel like playing anything on stream right now because none of it seems that fun to me. But during that day, I did go show people video games, which was fun. I was like, what's a game I could play to show off video games to somebody that hasn't really seen a lot of them. I was like, let's just play Cyberpunk in front of them, and that went well.
Okay.
It did.
That to me, that's like kind of diving into the deep end right off the bat.
No, because it's like it's really cool to watch, I guess, because I'm not. They weren't playing it. They were watching me play.
No.
Yeah.
I just mean because it's like really visually busy and
very true.
There's a lot going on all the time.
There's a lot going on, but at the same time, that makes it kind of interesting. Because also they don't know that Keanu Reeves is in the game, so I'm waiting for that pop off too, because that'll be fun. That little reveal, but stuff like that. But then they were like, okay, I bought one for you to play, and I was like, all right, what is it? They're like, I really want to see this Silent Hill 2 remake. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm probably going to end up playing the Silent Hill 2 remake pretty soon here.
Well, you had already like said that you needed to do that.
I've watched it a few times. So, yeah.
Well, no, but you had specifically said like to show them that game.
Yeah,
because they liked
did
the movie.
say that, and I did mention it while I was there. I was like, yeah, you would probably get into this one. And they're like, and they went and they were like, yeah, no, I just went and got it because I was like, okay, got it. All right, guess I'm playing Silent Hill 2 remake pretty soon here, probably tomorrow, as of this recording. But anyway, it was fun. I had a good time. Other than that, what have I been doing? So WWE came out with a DLC and they put an update out and it broke something that pissed me off, and so I'm taking a break from that game until it fucking gets fixed, because goddamn Visual Concepts cannot update a fucking game and not break something. I swear to God, they can't update it and not break something. Every time.
You're gonna make a YouTube rant about it, right?
I could.
That's content.
I absolutely could. I probably won't though. I'm lame. God, it upset it every fucking time. I'm just like, dude, like, man, it's Did
it break like your creations?
A little. So they added something to the game, that's cool. They added a thing. They added the ability to change the shininess of hair. That's fine, but here's the thing: it doesn't work. And it breaks it defaults everything to the maximum level of shininess.
Oh.
Yeah. So not every hair that you have will be that. Some of them I don't think have the slider, but the ones that do are automatically at 100. And now that's fine because you have to go in, okay, turn it down. No big deal. That takes like 2 seconds, right? Doesn't save it. So it just goes back to the default every time, no matter what, because it doesn't actually work. And I was like, oh, cool, this is good.
So all your wrestlers have that Pantene Pro V.
Not all of them, but a couple of them. And I was just like, you know what? I'll just come back later because I'm just pissed about it. So it's like I'm gonna take a break from this. But yeah, God, it's every year though. It's every year. There's been a couple updates. I mean, since then, and then there's stuff that I'm like that they've broken already, like that I feel should have been fixed already and still aren't fixed, and that's just getting irritating. Like dumb stuff that I'd have to fucking really deep dive on. Like when you change an image, it used to stay in the same spot, but now it doesn't. Everything just like does this weird blink out thing, and fucking you gotta reset it all, and it's a pain in the ass because that's a thing I used, and it annoys me. But anyway, they can't not break the fucking game. They do it every time. I don't know what the hell their deal is with this, and this has been since the Ukes days. I don't know what the hell they do to these games when they update them. So they'll break everything, and then a week later they'll fix a couple things, but they'll break something else randomly. That thing is like living on fucking thoughts and prayers. It's insane. That whatever the code they have is nuts.
It's crazy though that like, because they have been on a new engine for the last like 2 or 3 games, so it's interesting that some of those legacy issues are still there. Oh yeah, no, it's I'm gonna guess it's a lot of the same like code and stuff like that, because I mean a lot of the menus have been the same for years and years. Like the moveset stuff is all like the same menu it's been since 2013. Like that's been the same for years and years now. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. But yeah, I don't know. This is a thing that they do. A lot of the times, like, it's not that big a deal. They'll like break something stupid and you're like, oh yeah, that's a little annoying, but whatever. But sometimes they break something and you're just like, I'm just done with you guys this year. Fuck this shit. I'm just annoyed. Like when it's constant like that, it just annoys the fuck out of me. So anyway, I was kind of like, all right, I'm gonna go play some other stuff actually. So I went on Steam. I was like, what's out? What are we doing? I was like, I need to play Wanderstop some more. So I did that.
I put a couple more hours into Wanderstop, about 3-4 more hours into it. I still really like that game. I was scared going back to it because I was like, well, it's been a few months since I actually played this. Am I going to remember how to do it? But it's kind of like so casual that like it was really easy to remember as I went, because I was
That's good.
Yeah, like
Did you? Sorry, we'll get back to it in a sec. But
Sure.
did you see the Hideo Kojima thing this week?
Which one?
His idea that he wants to make a game where the main character forgets certain mechanics if you put the game down for a long period of time.
No, I did not see that. No.
And I was like, I love my man Kojima to death, but that's the dumbest fucking idea he's ever had, because like we all like his audience in particular, right? Like we're all older, we all have like jobs and responsibilities.
Yeah.
We already forget shit when we put games down
Yeah.
for a long time.
No, I love Kojima a lot. I the one thing I seen was he has like a notebook full of game ideas that he's going to leave after he dies.
A USB stick.
A USB stick, something like that. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember exactly what it was. Yeah, he's leaving it for when he dies. And it's just full of game ideas for other people. I'm like, you fucking weirdo.
I love that,
I love
though.
him to death. That's great. Yeah, no, like
I think that's really cool.
I think it's neat. Whether anybody will actually use it or not, but it's fun. That's a fun thing.
Even if they just like publish it.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. These were his ideas. Like we're not going to do any of these because we got our own stuff that we want to do, but like this was stuff he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if you don't use the full thing, like just taking elements or whatever of some of that stuff could be really fun, right?
Yeah.
Say what you will about the man, he has some fun ideas for mechanics and shit like that. He really does.
He does, and he's got like we've talked about it before, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he's cognizant of it too. Realistically, based on like how beefy his games are as far as like development time, he doesn't have a ton left in his lifetime,
Right.
to as far as like releases
No,
go.
probably not.
I think that's why they've turned the studio into like a two game studio, so he
Yeah.
can try to like crank out some of
Get his
these
shit
like
in.
really
Yeah.
passion projects.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, Wanderstop. Like I
Yes.
said, going back to it after some time, I was kind of worried I was gonna forget like what was happening and like what to do, because I remember like the T machine was like had a little like was kind of weird, but like as soon as I was like, actually it being so weird makes you remember it more, because you're just like, right, I have to go up here, you got to do this, you do this, you do right, okay, I remember how this all works. Get all the stuff. I didn't have any problem really jumping right back into it, which I think, and like I said, it being kind of as laid back and then take as much time as you need kind of thing is kind of perfect for something like that too, to just kind of take a break and jump back whenever you want to. So far it's been really good. I think I don't know how much further I have to go. There was definitely a really like pretty big revelation that I just got to, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. Let's see where this goes. It's a cool game. Boro is still a great character. And
it's one that I'd admittedly forgotten about, but I'm glad that you brought it back, because it is on my list of games that I want to try. Although, man, I need to finish some fucking games.
You and me
too.
both, and that's why I picked this one back up. I was like, I really do want to finish this one, so I plan on it. Probably, I'm hoping Sunday I get to sit down and actually finish it.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like it's going to be all that long.
Yeah. One thing I really do like is like when you meet the characters, like not outside of the main character in Boro, right? They're kind of the two main guys. But like when you meet other characters, like their stuff kind of resolve. At least it seems like it resolves in like one season. I don't know. It's weird how to explain how the game works, but like once you see it, you kind of get it. But like it feels like they have their little arc, and maybe that's it. Although they kind of do hint towards like, well, maybe they'll come back. It's hard to say. There's one that happened that I was like, oh, that was pretty heavy. And I feel like I don't know where else this goes, but I'm interested. So yeah, it's a heck of a game.
Yeah, I'm glad you're still enjoying it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to playing that one.
For sure.
That one's not PC only, right? That's on console.
I think so. I think it's on console.
Okay.
I could be completely wrong, but I think if I remember it, I remember seeing it on like Xbox and stuff. Let's look that up. Why not? Oh boy. Oh god. Oh jeez. Now I gotta use the new phone to fucking look it all up, even though everything's faster. Oh boy. Okay.
Just ask the AI.
I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna do it.
It'll tell you about the white genocide in South Africa.
It'll probably do it. It probably would do it. It's on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X. So
there we go. Those are the ones that matter.
Get fucked, Switch. Yeah. But yeah, I'm liking that one a lot. Definitely want to finish that one pretty soon here. Let's see, what else have I played? I played about an hour of the game Wreckfest 2.
Why do I know that name?
So I've mentioned Wreckfest to you before, and I remember talking about it way back on Nerds Without Pants, the original Wreckfest.
This was original Xbox, right?
It was. I think so. I want to, or no, not original Xbox. No, this was Xbox One. It's pretty recent. I don't remember exactly who made it. Let's see.
Okay, I think I might have this on PlayStation as a PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you've played you should try it. You might actually like it. It's kind of like it
looks like, is it a spiritual successor to Destruction Derby?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
It's kind of like that. It's very. So the driving's realistic, but that's what makes it really fun because it adds this weird level of chaos to everything. Like it's kind of its own beast. Like the damage, they really go in on like, yo, you're going to beat the shit out of these cars. And like, you're going to get to the end of this thing with like maybe one less tire or two less tires than what you started with.
So refreshing.
Like that. Oh, it's very fun. Like none of the cars.
Is it a racing game?
Yes.
Or is it more of a Destruction Derby?
Both.
Okay.
There's both modes.
Okay.
There's like you can have a full on like this is a demo derby. You were just trying to hit the other cars as hard as you can, or there is like racing and like Wreckfest 2 is the one I'm playing. So Wreckfest 2 is in early access right now, and it is very early access. But the field of cars is like, yo, 24 fucking cars on this one track. So the first turn is absolutely nuts because it is just everybody ramming into each other, and that's the game. Like you are like encouraged to like bash people into the turn and do all this wild shit, and like the AI is like, even unprompted, is just fucking up in front of you, which is kind of great. Like they're just like, yeah, they're just sliding off and fucking flipping up in the air. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking awesome. I love this. I'm not even like close to winning a lot of the time. It is very old school in that there's no real like suggested line stuff going on. It's you kind of got to figure out the track, and you fuck up, you're gonna probably lose some spots and all that shit, and that's just the game. But like it being early, there's nothing I can win right now because of how early access it is. So I'm not like getting upset or anything like that. I like 9 out of 10 times I'm like, that was a lot of fun. Let me restart this. This is like, it was great.
How good are those car crunches?
Pretty good. Yeah, I played like a demo derby version of it. And it was just like they had it on a speedway, so you in the middle of it. There's just a big pole, and so you would wait till or even into the like the wall of the speedway. You were waiting for just cars to just hit it, and so you could just fucking bash them like right in the back, and then like you're both just like fucking destroy it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Nice. I have to say. Yeah,
I think that's probably one of the things I'm most like excited / interested about GTA 6 is I want to see what that car destruction is like on current gen stuff from them in particular, because they've never used licensed cars, they've got carte blanche, so you can just fuck those cars up any way that you want.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that'll be really fun. And Wreckfest 2, it looks great. Like it really looks good. I one funny little thing that I figured out was I was trying to figure out how to switch the camera angle, and I accidentally switched it to inside the car and figured out that you like all the D-pad stuff does little like weird hand interactions, so you can like you're like waving out the window and shit like that. I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. I like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, early access. Like I said, there's I want to say like 5, like maybe 7 tracks. Some of them have different modes. Like there's figure 8 racing and shit like that. It's that kind of game. Like it's like even the tracks like are made to like the first track I think I did when I just picked Quick Race was called like the Scrapyard. And at some point it just has like 2 spots where the tracks just interact, or like, basically figure 8 have an intersection. So like sometimes you're like I'm pretty dead last right now, so whatever happens is what happens, but like this guy's right here and I'm bashing him. I don't give a shit. And you're just like, bang. Like it's fun. It's a fun game.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So that sounds good. So
definitely, like I said, very early access though. So if you might want to wait on it, because like there isn't much other than that. They don't have all the cars out yet. They don't have all the tracks out yet. But like from what I played, it showed a lot of promise, and I liked the first game a good amount too. I had a real good time with the first game. The first game had like lawnmower demolition derbies and shit like that in there. It's so dumb. It's great. And I think I basically I was like, I would love to buy Wreckfest again, because I had a good time playing it on the Xbox One, and I was like, oh, well, and Wreckfest 2 had like a bundle thing with it where you could get Wreckfest 1, 2 and all the DLC for Wreckfest 1, and I was like, yeah, why the fuck not? So that's that.
It's time for Big Dumb Quiz.
Is it?
Hello, I'm Spence Sterling.
Okay.
And we're here for Big Dumb Quiz.
All right.
Tonight, we have Justin, an artwork photographer from Provo, Utah.
I'm a what?
An artwork photographer from Provo, Utah.
I lived in Provo.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not from there, though.
Justin.
What?
Your question. How long does it take to drive a bus from Tucson, Arizona to Las Vegas, Nevada?
Approximately 8 hours.
Judges? That's correct.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good job.
I wish I didn't know
Even
that.
a broken clock is right twice a day.
Well, thanks.
This has been Big Dumb Quiz. I'm Spence Sterling. Good night.
Great. I got it right. I'm sad that I got it right.
Justin.
What?
I didn't book Big Dumb Quiz tonight.
Yeah.
That wasn't on the schedule.
I don't believe that, but okay.
No, that wasn't me. I don't know what's going on with fucking Big Dumb Quiz and Spence Sterling, Justin.
Okay, well, something's going on with it.
Oh, Jesus.
Well,
yeah. What else have you been up to?
So I guess we continue from here. Let's see. Let me make sure I haven't forgotten anything. I don't think I have. The last thing that I played was the game The Precinct, which
yes, I have been interested in this one.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually the one who like put it on your radar because I saw a trailer for it.
I believe so.
And I was like, yo, that's got like some old school GTA vibes to it, but you're a cop.
And I played the demo.
And I liked
of it.
what you played on this on your stream.
Yes. I played the demo of it and was kind of curious where it was going. The actual game's pretty okay. it reminds me a lot, and I mean this in an endearing way, of police simulator patrol officers.
Oh, okay.
But like a better made one of those, right? Like it actually like.
Well, this has story, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe not as much as I was thinking or hoping there was. Maybe, and I'm not sure. I haven't played a whole lot of it, but I haven't played nothing either. Like I think I put about 4 hours into it. It to me, I've kind of found it really good in short sessions, kind of like Police Simulator, honestly, where I'm just like, I can play this for about an hour and then I kind of want to do something else. So really, honestly, like probably a perfect like Steam Deck game, in my opinion. That's not a knock against it. It's just kind of how I feel when I'm playing it. So the main thing is like it does. The demo was kind of like the opening gambit of the game for the most part. Like, okay, this you have different kinds of patrols. Sometimes you're in a police car, sometimes you're walking around on foot. These are the crimes that happen. And you have a partner with you. And at first, when they had the partner with me in the demo, I didn't think that was going to be a constant thing. But no, that's a constant thing. That guy is like always with you, at least so far. Now, as far as like a story goes, it starts out kind of like there's going to be a story because there's like this gang and they're doing stuff. There's a bank robbery. Your dad was a real good cop. Everybody liked him. He was a real cop. He was like a police chief or something. I don't really know. I mean, I should know, but I don't.
Right. I think that says a lot.
Yeah. They all admire. They're all real crazy about your dad. Like it's a big deal that your character is a cop, right? And that's fine. The I guess the crux of it is like you then eventually do this thing where like you go and bust like the leader, and this is like right after the stuff that the demo showed. And like basically it's just like you have a little shootout. I'm not really super crazy about the shooting in the game the more I play it. I think the shootouts are kind of, they could be better, but I don't really know what they would do, right? It's a lot of it's
kind of hard in that perspective to do anything like really.
Yeah, in that perspective.
Well, I guess you could go for like a twin stick setup.
You could, but they don't do that here, right? They do kind of old school like GTA like targeting type of thing. And I think, but like also like you're moving the cursor around. I don't know how to explain it. It's one of those things that you'd almost have to play to understand. Like it feels like it has like kind of a snap to target, but also there's free aim. And also like you can get headshots and stuff. And it's a weird perspective to try to do that from. Also there's cover shooting. Like you have to get into cover and shit, in and out of cover. And I'm like, I don't know. It's a lot going on. And especially like it gets kind of weird when you're just out on the street, like doing a shift, because that's what eventually it becomes. It's like, okay, you're going to go work this neighborhood and you walk around and you be police. Sometimes it gets really awkward when all of a sudden you just walk up on a crime. And I guess it's real too, to some extent, where like, and somebody just busts out a gun and starts shooting at you. But then at the top of the screen, it's yelling at you, do not shoot this person. I'm like, fuck that guy. I'm shooting him. Like, that's happening. I don't care.
Sorry, is it because they were white? Is that why you're not allowed to shoot them?
No, I don't know. It's a whole thing. Like they're like, no, you don't need to do it. I'm like, no, I'm probably supposed to shoot this guy. He's shooting at me.
I'm pretty sure that's when you're supposed to shoot the people.
That's when you're allowed to shoot them, right? But I think it's basing it on the crime that you are stopping them on. Which, like, if they don't shoot at you, you're fine. But I think it escalates. I don't really know how the fuck it works. Yeah, you'll walk up on a crime sometimes and like somebody will just start shooting you and you're just like sitting there like, oh, right. Yeah, there's no cover here. So it gets a little like fumbly. Like, how do I get my gun out again? And how do okay, and I'm dead. Okay, good. That's a little rough. So I'm not.
What happens when you die? Does it just like you go back to the precinct and then you start.
It actually just, as far as I could tell, because I've only died once, and it was basically the situation I just described. I walked up on, like, I think it was a burglary, and then just motherfuckers just started fucking shooting me, and I was like, oh shit. And then before I knew what was going on, I was dead. And all it really did was just kind of put me right back in the neighborhood. Like, it almost did it felt like it did a time rewind. It was like, nah, that didn't happen. And then just kind of put you back, which I was like, that's fine.
Okay. So does that crime then still take place and you can take
no,
that
that one is gone. Like that it never happened. All the crimes seem randomized. I do like that because of the perspective. It would be a little hard to tell every now and then when you walk up on somebody doing a crime if they're actually doing one. Because it's a little zoomed out, so they do like kind of draw attention to it. Like, no, this guy's doing a thing. They also kind of put it on the map. Like, there will be little, like, kind of almost like heat spots that are where, like, oh, there's a noise over here or something like that. You can go check it out. I wish they were a little bit better about that stuff because it's a little hard to read every now and then. Also, they'll be giving you call outs for stuff that's not in the area that you're in sometimes, and that's a little weird because I don't know, they're doing it like real cop stuff where it's like, here's a street name, here's what's happening, and I'm like, I have no fucking idea where that is, like, right. And you're not really direct, and if you accept the call out, then it kind of directs you where to go, but then like it kind of works against your shift if it's not in the actual spot because you're supposed to solve crimes in that spot. It gets a little weird. It's not bad overall.
That's a thing that I noticed a lot when you were playing Police Simulator on stream, is that it would do that a lot. And I get that it's like probably realistic to like how it is to be a cop where you're hearing these other like crimes going off and it's coming through the radio. But like, I don't know. It seems like there could be a better way of doing that.
To this game's credit, they don't do it near as bad as Police Simulator. It's pretty tame, the call out aspect. Like, it's once every now and then, and it's usually like, you're not finding any crime anyway, so, but sometimes you'll answer the call out, and then on your way there you run into another crime, and then you're like, okay, well, we're here now, we're doing this, right? But then it's like, no, this isn't your current objective, and I'm like, all right, this is a little off. Like, no, this clearly is the thing I'm doing right now. Let's just finish this. But it is a little bit better than Police Simulator in that, like, you actually can go out of your fucking district, because that is an insane thing when fucking Police Simulator does that shit. If you've ever watched one of the streams where like the bad guy just fucking happens to drive down the street that I'm not allowed to go down, and nope, can't go down there. No, we cannot chase him. He is gone. He has gotten away forever. No, he's
in Mexico.
yeah. That's it. It is real dumb. This one is like, no, hey, if this person runs, and sometimes they do run and get in a car, no, you are on a police chase and you were chasing them through the city. That is how this goes. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like, some of the stuff has like escalated pretty fun like that. So it's not bad. It's really not. I guess the main core of the game, from what it seems like, and I don't know if there's a storyline aspect or if anything's going to happen like that, but like, you're trying to take down these gangs. Like, you take down the first gang, and then basically the story is like, okay, well, now that you took down this big gang, this was the big gang that was causing a lot of problems in the city. They're done now. You took down the head, but now all these smaller gangs are popping up, so we got to take them down too. And the way to do this is you got to take down the captain, and then you take down the underboss, and then you take down the main guy. And to do that, you're just solving random crimes on the street, and you get evidence that will point to the captain magically, because video games. And I don't know if there's like a storyline aspect if I get to any of that stuff, because I haven't gotten enough evidence. It seems kind of a little few and far between sometimes on the evidence department. Couple quality of life things I wish it would do. I wish it would. So when you like roll up on a crime and you usually I know the initial thing, right? But sometimes I wish it would tell me a little bit more of like, okay, you found this thing on them, that's this crime, and all this other stuff. Like, you can delegate the paperwork to your partner, which is kind of convenient sometimes. Like, they'll just be like, yeah, no, I'll charge them with all the crimes, don't worry about it. And like, that's kind of nice. But like, sometimes I'm like, or even like, so much happened, but like, that I don't even remember why I was stopped this person in the first place. Like, right, like, okay, I rolled up on them, they were doing graffiti, but then they ran, got in a car, drove however long that we chased them on this wild ass chase. I don't even know where to start what the crime is right here, right? so it gets a little like dicey, and like, if you pick the wrong things, it'll knock off experience, which isn't really like, it's kind of not a big deal. But like, I'd like there, sometimes I got back to the police station with one guy. It's very similar to Police Simulator in that like, you can call a patrol car to just come and take them to the station for you, so you don't got to do all that. But like, when it's the end of your shift, you would just take them with you and book them yourself, right? But I got back to the station with one guy who was like, you missed like 7 crimes this guy did. I was like, oh, well, I didn't know what else I could charge him with, because I got in this big police chase with him. There's probably shit he was doing that I didn't even see. Like, he might have hit a dude. He might have fucking committed a few murders on the way. I don't know. I don't remember. Everything was happening so fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, like overall, it's really neat. But like, yeah, I'm playing it basically like Police Simulator. I was kind of hoping for like maybe a little bit more of a story driven thing, but at the same time, maybe it does go into more story stuff. But for right now, it just seems like, no, it's just Police Simulator, but like from this perspective.
Okay, and so I was going to ask, like, is the gameplay loop a good enough hook for you?
It's fun. I have a good time with it. I don't know. Like, I played like, about 4 hours of it. And that was kind of spread out. Like, I was playing it for like an hour here, an hour there, and then kind of I'm just like, yeah, that's good enough, because it's kind of that. It's kind of just Police Simulator. I don't know if I'm like, you are getting upgrades and stuff for like your guy. Like, you can get stamina upgrades and shit like that, because like, you're chasing after these dudes and you're running out of breath really fucking fast. So yeah, you're gonna want a stamina upgrade or something. There's upgrades for your car. You are getting new vehicles and shit like that. And so it might be kind of cool if I keep going with it, which like I said, I'm having a good time just playing it like I'm doing, where I'm just like, yeah, play this for an hour and then move on to something else, because that's kind of the type of game it is to me. Unless it goes into more story stuff, but I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, I might like check out some videos and stuff and see if there's some reviews out, because it's one that I've been curious about, but it's been such a stacked year and I've already got so much piled up.
I don't think it's not that kind of game where you need to drop everything. It is very much,
sure.
It's very much an indie game. There, like, the one thing that screamed indie to me was the very first conversation. I don't remember this when I was playing the demo, but maybe it was there. I want to say it was like the opening conversation you're having, where the police chief is introducing you to everybody. Like, he's like, oh, we got a new recruit and it's this guy, and everybody's like, holy shit, it's that guy? That's crazy. But the police chief's audio was so crackly. Like, I was like, whoa, nobody thought to check this? And to the point where I was like, is my TV fucked up? And so I think I stopped the game after it and was like, hold on, I need to like turn this up for a second. I need to make sure it's not my speakers. And no, I was like, no, everything seems fine. And then and then there was like another conversation, because he pulls you into his office or whatever, and you have to talk to these 2 detectives and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, it's not here. It's not in this conversation. It's just that one conversation that he has where he is just fucking peeking like a motherfucker. And like, I'm just like, dude, how did they keep this bit? How did they keep this taken? Like, what are we doing?
That has been one of the downsides of dealing in audio for so many years, is that I've started to, like, when I play video games, it's like I can tell when oh, that's from a different session.
Yes.
Like, you know, between
Right.
lines of dialogue and stuff like that.
Yeah,
or,
I can tell
or,
you
oh,
recorded this.
there's the edit. I can
Yeah.
hear the edit sometimes.
You start to hear all this shit and like you can't unhear it. And I'm just sitting there listening to it. I'm like, man, how did you guys like nobody thought to just have him re-record that? Like, no, this was good enough. We're not doing it. We paid the money. Like come on, man. Like, goddamn. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe it's just I had a weird thing happen and that's what happened. But
No, it wouldn't surprise me that it was probably like a remote recording section.
Yeah, it was definitely this game is like they do all of their story bits almost visual novel like, where like the
I do remember that.
Yeah, and I find that a little weird. It's not my favorite.
It's a jarring like change in art style.
It really is. Like I feel like you could have just gotten away with like putting like a almost doing like a JRPG type thing. Just put a little character portrait and fucking have the dialogue and just have the characters there doing whatever. Like that would have worked for me. But they do the whole like, no, here's the scene transition and these guys are standing. I'm like, no, don't do this. We don't need to go fucking full visual novel for this. It's very off-putting.
Yeah.
But yeah, but overall it's a neat game. If it's up your alley, you'll know, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on it. Overall. Like I like it in short sections and I'm probably going to keep playing it in short sessions like that. But I'm not afraid to just stop playing it forever at the same time, if that makes any sense. So yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
The Stage Select is made possible through the support and funding of viewers like you. Here are our wonderful patrons.
Before we go too much further, Justin, I think it's a good time to thank our lovely patrons.
Sure, we can do that. Oh God, I did it again. I always do this where I forget that now we're in the same thing as everything. So here we are. We appreciate all of our lovely patrons, but every week we like to thank the executive producer tier. And this week we have Xavier Kreger. We have Stephen Lobo.
We have 60, who knows Justin's secrets but won't tell. Don't worry.
All right. I'm curious as to what they know. We have Raymond Crum.
We have Philip P.K. Becker.
We have Matt Jorgensen. Gerald Postlebottom.
Yeah, he asked for his identity to be changed, or to be stolen rather, and to have a new one. So I said, okay, you're Gerald Postlebottom now.
Oh,
so there you go.
Well, there you go.
This is what you get if you come to our Discord. You get to have fun like this.
Absolutely. Good. I like it.
We have Game Johnson of Retrofits.
We have Xrian.
We have Eric Peacock of the Soundtracker podcast.
We have Dr. Delicious.
We have Dennis Robertson.
We have David Portnov.
We have Casey Curran, who is now Chet Manley.
Congratulations. We have Bookie.
We have Bill Tucker of A Gamer Looks at 40, who incidentally is taking some time off from his podcast to work on his mental health. Bill, if you're listening to this, I wish you all the best and take your time.
Yeah, take as much time as you
don't
need,
sweat
Bill.
it.
Yeah. Brother, I've been there. Trust me. I totally get it. We have Big Baker.
And we have Addy XD. Thank you to everybody for supporting the show. Oh, also meant to mention this at the top of the show. I forgot. As you're listening to this, the latest episode of the Suffer Select should be available, which means that also the new poll is up on the Patreon page. So the next poll is between Ultra Kill, nominated by 60X Self, and Balan Wonderland, nominated by Xrian. So we will want your answer to that poll by 7:30 Central on June 6th. Just head on over to the Patreon page if you're a member, and you can go vote on that. All paid patrons are eligible to vote for that. Also, I did a new thing, which is that you can, if you're not a patron, but you want to check us out, I actually have put our executive producer tier with a $7 free trial. I have that option now, so you can check us out free for a week, and you see everything that we have to offer, and then decide if you want to hang out or not.
There you go.
Yeah. But Justin, I actually, we should probably well, I'm going to take a break if you want to hang out. They're going to have the Item Hoarders Anonymous meeting.
Do they have refreshments here for that?
Yeah, they usually do. I think there's like a table.
Well, I'll just hang out there.
Cool.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I'll be back in a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you good? What did you do?
Well, hello there, and welcome to another meeting of Item Hoarders Anonymous. My name is Clancy Burns, and I am your host, here to help all of you people with your problems with hoarding items in video games. I apologize for not having the meeting the last couple sessions. There's actually been a lot of adventurers lined up in front of this building, and I've been talking to them every week about being sure to use their items because they're all primed for battle, but they have all of these healing potions on them, and they don't seem to want to use them. So I've been trying to help them with that. Hopefully it helps them succeed in whatever battle they've been trying to get into. But let's see. Let's go around the room and see who wants to speak this week.
Okay.
Anybody? No hands. Oh, you in the back. I've seen you here a couple times at the meeting with a long beard. Why don't you stand up and tell us your story?
I don't know why I'm here. I was here for whatever this tray of assorted cheeses that you have over here. What kind of cheese is this, by the way? It's good.
It's camembert and a little bit of brie.
Oh, that sounds fancy. I don't even know what that is.
Some sharp cheddar over there.
Ooh, that probably gonna make my way over there. I work here. Apparently, I think I work here. I don't know anymore.
Oh, tell us your name and your problems with item hoarding.
Okay. Well, I'm Justin. Hi.
Welcome, Justin.
It's my name, apparently. I should have introduced myself better, right? Like I should have made up a name, because like that seems like a thing you would do at this juncture, right? Like,
well, it is Item Hoarders Anonymous, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
You can use your real name, or you can make an alias.
I could. I would like to be known as just call me Powerman 5000 for today. This is what it's like when worlds collide, you know. This is what it's like. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't, but welcome, Powerman 5000.
Well, thank you.
You're in a safe space here. You can unburden yourself about your item hoarding.
Well, here. I don't really do that all that much. I tend to use my items for the most part, I think, anyway. Now I will say this. I do like to start out a role-playing game by buying as many healing potions as I can. Especially like a JRPG, like I will buy about 100 of them. I'll fill up the inventory, right? But here's the thing. I use them all, as I go. Like eventually, you know, like that 100 HP healing potion is not going to cure your entire thing. But instead of not using it, I'll just use all 50 of them on one guy, right? To heal them. Because at that point, you know, you might as well, right? You know, they have a lot of hit points. At that point, you just use them all up, and that gets rid of it all, right? It's all about inventory management at that point. It's very important to do that. You know, I think so.
No, I agree. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's good. I also liked the idea of them just like sitting there and drinking 50 healing potions just in one shot. You know, just downing them. Like, you know, Tifa, you got a little roughed up in that battle, but, you know, just keep chugging. We'll put it all in one big 2-liter for you. You know, they're just dumping them in there. It's a fun image.
I like that too.
Yeah.
The best ones are when it's food.
Right. Yeah. No, that's good too. Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine, like, you know, like in Elder Scrolls game when you just have all the food and you're just sitting there, you're just stuffing your face before you know, go fight a goblin or whatever. It's pretty fun. But yeah, no, and like, even when I get items that I know I'm not gonna use, I tend to just sell them. Like, so, like Elder Scrolls, like we just mentioned, there's a ton of potions. I don't fucking use them. So I just go and sell them immediately. You know, if it's not something I'm going to use, like you can just.
That's good as well. That's I would consider that a form of using your items.
Yeah. You just sell them, get the money for it. You know, like then you can buy what you want. You can buy that weapon you've had your eye on. You know, it's good. Yeah. Sorry if this isn't what you expected, but you know, this is what I do.
It sounds like you actually have a very healthy relationship with your items.
I'm trying.
Everybody in the group, think about the testimony of Powerman 5000 tonight, and take that home with you and take it to heart. This is really what the healing process looks like, is being healthy and having a good relationship with your items and knowing when to use them and
knowing
when to
what it's
sell
like
them.
when worlds collide.
And knowing what it's like when worlds collide.
Yeah.
Yes. Wonderful. Yes. Thank you, Powerman 5000. This has been
You're welcome.
a very constructive meeting of Item Hoarders Anonymous.
Anytime.
Remember, everybody, the items are there for you to use. Use them.
I'm gonna take a bag of this sharp cheddar home with me. Is that okay?
That's fine. People don't seem to be really approaching the sharp cheddar.
I don't know why. It's sharp cheddar. It's really good.
You had to say Well, she was saying something.
And now for something hopefully better than whatever that just was.
That's a hell of a thing right there. Hi there. My name is Craig Winslow. Apparently y'all still do this here podcast. That's something. I'll tell you what. That's something right there. Y'all should be proud of that. I just, I came on here and wanted to, pitch an idea to your listenership out there. Whoever that might be. All like 7 of them, however that goes. So I've been thinking a lot. Now, I say recently, but it's been, some time. I acquired myself a 1993 Toyota Corolla. All right, now that is a hell of a car right there. Been through ups and downs, has a hell of a history. Not a lot of mileage on it. Now, I was thinking, as a millennial myself, we don't have them there car shows for us, right? And I'm just thinking, maybe, just maybe, we should start something like that. Because when I go to a car show, I don't really care that much about them there 1960s, Fords and Chevys and whatnot. I want to see 1995 Ford Tempo. All right, that's what I'm there to see. That's the cars from my youth, right? I want to see the 1997 Ford Ranger. All right, just lined up. There's a Ford Ranger selection. That thing it'll hold a television. Let me tell you right now, that will hold some televisions. All right. Now that's my idea, just put it out there. What's wrong with seeing, like a 1992 Geo Storm, right? I ain't seen one of them in a long time. I would also like to see some Chrysler Seabrings. I ain't seen them in some time either. All right. Now, so car shows for millennials. Y'all think about that. Get back to me. My name's Craig Winslow. Emails, I don't really have an email right now, per se, but, I'll let y'all know. You get a hold of my friend Jacob. He usually handles the digital side of everything. Not very well, but he tries. You know how that goes. All right. Well, I'll let y'all go. I got a date tonight. We're going to go down there to the Pizza Hut, they got that there karaoke. I don't know if y'all heard. It's a hell of a thing, let me tell you. Got a little bit of Bon Jovi left in me, I think. I think I'm going to bust that out, see how the girls like it. Well, catch y'all down the trail.
Well, we're back, or I'm back. Nice, here we are. Sorry. Julian's still gone. You know what that means. Now we can really rap. Well, yeah, I've been thinking about what to rap about. I don't really know. It's tough. I did think of one thing that I forgot to mention when I was talking about the Precinct. It has racing. They don't do a very good job of it. It's kind of shit. Like they're just like, you gotta go infiltrate these street racers. They're out there and they're a fucking problem. You gotta go get in good with them. Win the race. And I'm like, okay, I'll do my best. But it's racing in one of these. Probably not going to go well. Guess what? Doesn't go well. All they had to do was do GTA or even Cyberpunk does, where they do the little orbs that you have to run into. Instead, they do here's a wall, but then they'll hide turns with the walls. It's pretty bad. Things they can improve on. But you can also just not do the street races and probably feel pretty good about that. Anyway, yeah. I don't know if you guys knew that, but this is what it's like when Worlds Collide. This is what it's like. Are you ready to go? Because I'm ready to go. What you gonna do? Baby, baby. That's such a confused song when you really think about it. Are you ready to go? Because I'm ready to go. What you gonna do? Baby, baby. Are you going with me? Because I'm going with you. What you gonna do? Baby, baby. I think that's the lyrics. Pretty dumb song. I've been meaning to confirm this, and I have a new phone now, so let's, utilize it to its fullest capabilities. I keep thinking Powerman 5000 was related to Rob Zombie, and if so, that makes a lot of fucking sense. Because they're both just dreadful. Sorry, Rob Zombie fans out there. I think Rob Zombie is one of those people where I'm like, I respect him as a director, but as a musician, I think he's just the worst. White Zombie, not much better. Yeah, sure, you can go, everybody's yelling right now, but Thunder Kiss 65 is such a good song. I'm like, is it? Is it really? It's a bunch of nonsense. Listen to that song. He has one song that I'm like, yeah, that one's alright. That's Super Beast. Super Beast is delightfully cheesy. Dragula's terrible. Dragula's awful. Living Dead Girl's awful. A lot of awful songs. Just terrible. Was Powerman 5000 related to Rob Zombie? Thank you. Yes. Yes, he was. Okay, I love how the AI overview has penned this. Yes, Spider 1 HTTP, and then it gives a link. The lead singer and founder of Powerman 5000 is the younger brother of Rob Zombie. Michael David Cummings, born Spider 1? I think that's his actual name, was Michael David Cummings. He was not born Spider 1 and then changed his name to Michael David Cummings. That doesn't make any sense. If it is, I don't blame him for changing his name, because his parents clearly hate him. And they probably do. Could you imagine being the younger brother of Rob Zombie? What's he doing nowadays? That's a good question. What's Powerman 5000 up to? What's old Spider 1 up to? What's Spider 1 doing these days? What's Spider 1 doing these days? I'll type it in. What is Spider 1 doing these days? Spider 1 is a busy man, known for his work in both music and film. He is the frontman and founder of the band Powerman 5000. Yeah, but you're not telling me what he's doing, AI overview. This is the problem with AI. He released a film recently called Little Bites. Oh boy. They're currently touring? Why? Who is interested in Powerman 5000? How many fucking Powerman 5000 albums are there? There's no way. Powerman 5000 albums. Good Christ. What are we doing as a society? Oh, God. Oh, my God, there's more than one. Oh, Jesus Christ, there's way more than one. Oh, boy. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Now, some of these might be like live albums. 2020, he released an album? 2024, he released an album? Why?
Who released an album?
Powerman 5000 did, Julian.
Wow.
Yeah. Here we are. It has 4 songs on it. That's 4.
That's not an album.
That's
a single.
It's an album according to this. Some of these are EPs, but this is penned as an album. This is penned as an album. Hold on. Called Abandoned Ship. No, okay, there's more than that. I guess I'll accept all. You can buy it on band. No, there's 11 songs on this album. Okay, they just only wanted to tell me.
Did you say you can buy it on Bandcamp?
Yeah, you can buy it on Bandcamp. Like, why wouldn't you be able to do that?
I don't know.
You can buy actually a lot of. That's a place where people will put their albums out.
It's especially if your star has fallen, it's a way to like cut out the middleman, right?
Yeah, well, even it's not like it used to be where like record deals are weird now because like a lot of it's just independent. Like, cause you can record your own albums nowadays and it's fine. The qualities like we have the technology nowadays where you don't have to go into like a big studio or need like the backing of the man, I guess.
Yeah, the labels are kind of. I mean, they're still there.
They're still there. Don't get me wrong, and that's how that's where you get like radio play. But nobody really listens to the radio anymore. Most people are just making stuff, putting it out on Spotify, hoping for the best. And then you make an album, you put it, and yeah, you can put it on Bandcamp or whatever. Because I think I bought at least one Destroy Boys album off of Bandcamp. I think there's only one on there, but I don't remember. Oh boy, man, this just reading the fucking names of this is just like, God damn it. I hate everything. What are we doing as a society?
We don't have time to get into that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there's a song called GTFO. Oh boy. That sounds great. Places.
Is it a tie-in to the game of the same name?
No, probably not. Good old Spider One doesn't really care about anything. He's a busy. Spider One, the lead singer and brother of Rob Zombie, put out a movie recently. Julian, did you know that?
I've never even heard of Spider One before.
Well, he's doing it. He's doing his thing. He released this film Little Bites. You can watch it. That's his movie. He also is working on a new horror film titled Big Baby, which he describes as a meta slasher. Yeah. Spider One.
Is it about somebody killing Meta, the company? Because I'd be into that.
I don't think so. I don't think that's what it's about at all.
Shame.
Yeah. What else has he got? He's also involved in other horror projects because that's the story of Spider One, the lead singer of Powerman 5000, is he just kind of tries to be Rob Zombie, who is his older brother, who also sucks and I don't like, but he tries, he tries to be him. So it's big shoes to fill, shitty shoes to fill. Yeah, everybody's probably mad at me for my take on Rob Zombie, but I don't think he was ever very good.
Fuck Rob Zombie.
I just don't like.
Fuck Dragula.
Yeah, Dragula.
Dragula was in so many fucking games when I was in retail, Justin.
It sure was.
Oh my God.
I like one. I'm not sure if that's Rob Zombie or his White Zombie days, but I like Super Beast because it's a really stupid fucking song. Like it's kind of bad in a great way.
I didn't mind the song he did for Edge.
It was Rob Zombie. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I need to look up who fucking did this. Theme band. Okay. It was. Oh man, that's sad. Poor Our Lady Peace. Our Lady Peace was a pretty decent band. I don't mind Our Lady Peace. They're of a time, but they're fine. But they're
the ones who did Chris Benoit's song, right?
They sure did Chris Benoit's theme, and that was like the last thing I ever heard from them. And I'm like, man, what a way to go out! Those poor sons of bitches.
Yeah. Hey, but look, man, it's a banger. Like you just pretend that you don't remember whose theme song it was.
Yeah, exactly. Don't think about it too much, right? It's a whole thing. But I was just thinking.
I have that album. That's the Forceable Entry album. Because I actually liked a lot of those theme songs. I liked Kane's song.
Yes, they were putting out some bangers at that point because like they were getting like that was the time where they're like, hey, we're big enough to like reach out to like actual bands and see if they'll fucking make a theme for this. But like that was also the time where Disturbed made the Stone Cold theme song, which I don't like.
It's all right.
Bad. Oh, that one's so bad.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't like it. I love Stone Cold's theme. Like his original
it's
theme
hard
is
to you can't
fucking great.
You
right?
can't improve on that.
And they took that and they were like, let's add lyrics. And I'm like, oh, but it's Disturbed, so they're adding Disturbed lyrics, and that's not ever good for anyone. Just ever.
I love the lyrics of Matt Hardy's theme song from that album.
Was that his version 1?
I'm gonna slam a tornado.
Yeah, was that was the version 1 days?
Yeah.
Who did that?
I forget. Not a band that I was familiar with.
Oh, let me look that up. Matt Hardy version 1 theme band. It was called Live for the Moment, but who was the artist?
Lita's song was pretty good.
Lita, she still uses that one.
Does she?
Yeah. That one was decent. No, that's Broken Matt Hardy.
I'm probably gonna listen to that album like when I'm editing this.
I don't blame you.
Or after I edit this.
I don't blame you. Oh man, no, that's really hard to find.
Hold on, I can actually find it really quick. I think is it Monster Magnet? Hold on, I've got it on my phone.
Yeah. Whenever I remember hearing it, I was like, the singer sounds like Chris Cornell. It sounds like the Soundgarden guy, but I don't think it's Chris Cornell. Version 1, Live for the Moment.
Wait, do I not have that album on my phone? Holy shit, I don't have that album on my phone. Why did I not import that?
It was Monster Magnet. You are correct.
Okay.
Way to go. I had a feeling, as soon as you said that, I was like, that sounds like a thing. That sounds like a band from that time. I remember Monster Magnet vaguely. Couldn't tell you a single song by them other than this one now. Yeah. Rest in peace, Sabu. I forgot he passed away.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Sabu, for those that don't know, wrestler, I pretended to be Middle Eastern. I don't think he actually was. He was
known for his hardcore matches.
Yes, where he cut himself open with barbed wire and then used athletic tape to seal it so he could finish the match. Always loved his billing, because even when I was a kid, I was like, this doesn't really make any sense, but okay. Because he was homicidal, Julian. He was suicidal, and he was genocidal. And I was like, wait a second, that last thing's really extreme, right? Like, that doesn't really make sense, right? He's like, okay, homicidal, sure. Yeah, he will kill a man. All right, sure, that's fair. That's fair for wrestling. Suicidal, yeah, he will kill himself in the process. That makes sense, because he's jumping off stuff, and he's, going through tables and lighting things on fire and doing the whole thing. Genocidal, though, he's like, he's willing to just kill an entire race of people. Like, what? No, what? That's a little too much. I'm just saying, even for wrestling, this is a little much. Maybe we want to tone that down, but no, that's what we went with.
I mean, didn't New Jack actually kill a man?
that was I think he might have. I'm not. I don't know how.
I'm just saying ECW guys were cut from a different cloth.
Oh yeah. Did New Jack kill? I don't think he did. That was the mass transit thing. Did not kill mass transit. Oh no, he did. Apparently, it was a different person that somebody died. But apparently, I don't think it was because of him. Not really 100% sure. Yeah, mass transit was a whole thing. That was, a guy pretended to be a actual trained professional wrestler and got in the ring with New Jack, and New Jack did some wild shit, and that guy was not. He was just like a guy that pretended to be a professional wrestler, and did not go well.
That's the thing that I think people often don't understand if they're not if they don't pay attention to wrestling, and they lean too into the part that it's scripted.
Right.
Is that you can fuck yourself up if you don't know what you're doing.
Now, to be fair, like, did New Jack probably go a little too far? Yeah, he probably did go a little too far.
He probably knew what was up.
Yeah, he probably did, and he was like, "All right, well, let's really fucking show this guy what's up then." But yeah, like, he probably did go too far, but at the same time, like, you know, the whole thing was a little weird. I don't want to type this in. I keep thinking maybe he did kill someone. I'm not really 100% sure, though. New Jack kill anyone? No, New Jack did not directly kill anyone. Good. Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah, the mass transit thing, yeah, he got really, really hurt, and he got charged with aggravated assault, but did not actually, he got acquitted from it, because Coolest had apparently requested he get cut, because he cut him real bad. Like they did like the whole blade job, and like he went fucking wild with it. But
it wasn't a situation of him just like dropping the dude on his head.
No, nothing like that. Like he was like, yeah, cut me open, and New Jack fucking did it, and it didn't go well. But yeah, that, as far as I've always understood that incident, it was always like, that guy shouldn't have been in the ring. He had no business being there. He was not trained, or if he was, it was very, very little, and got into this situation. And it was kind of his own fault. But I mean, New Jack was a crazy person, like certified crazy person. But I always liked New Jack in ECW because, like, he had an air, like this aura of like, yeah, no, this guy is fucking nuts, and he's coming out, and his theme song plays the entire fucking time while he's wrestling, which I always thought was kind of cool. And then he's just using cheese graters on people, because that's what you do.
I think if I had gotten into the local indie wrestling scene 10 years earlier, I would have ended up trying to train.
Oh, I could see it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because like I got like real, like, you know, I was starting to get like kind of chummy with some of the talent, and like, you know, I thought like there were times when like, because, you know, me and John Gholson would like stay pretty late, and you know, because we were doing the podcast and stuff like that, and we would be there while they were like tearing down the ring, and I was like, man, I kind of want to like volunteer to help them, like, you know, tear down the ring. But then that's just another step to like, well, I kind of want to be a manager. And then it's like, well, I kind of want to like, you know, get in the ring.
Learn how to
like,
take a bump. Do the whole thing.
Yeah, you know, like I could have seen myself going down that route if I was.
Oh, for sure.
Not in my 30s when I came into it.
Yeah.
Just from a health standpoint.
Oh, yeah. But yeah.
I played video games, Justin.
You played video games? That's cool.
Yeah.
What ones did you play? Were they good?
I played a game that had been on my radar, but it feels like it like slipped under people's radar this week, because I think it came out this week.
Okay.
But I haven't really, I've seen people on Blue Sky talking about it, but I haven't seen like anybody on like the podcast that I listen to mention it, or and really there hasn't been a lot of scuttlebutt about it.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about. I seen this came out and was like, and I remember you and I, it looked like it was a bigger deal than. But you're right, I haven't heard much about it.
Yeah, I felt like because it was shown off a couple times on
Uh-huh.
Sony events. I'm talking about the Midnight Walk.
The Midnight Walk, yes.
This is that interesting looking like first person. It's all made in clay.
Right. Kind of looks like
type of
a
game.
Tim Burton type joint, you know?
It's got strong Nightmare Before Christmas vibes
Yes.
to it, for
Yes.
sure. The reason that I was interested in it, because the first trailer was like definitely like a tone piece.
Sure.
And then the second one, I was like, is this like a weird claymation horror Metroid Prime game? Because it showed like some shooting stuff, and I was like,
Right.
that's interesting. And I had seen like, you know, there was like some indie reviews that they were pretty positive about it.
Yeah.
And I saw that the people who did talk about it, they were like, oh yeah, I finished it in like 5 hours. And I was like, that sounds great.
Sure, right.
And also I wanted something new to talk about. And
Absolutely.
I legit been looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It was one that I definitely wanted to pick up this
Yeah,
year.
you had talked about that for sure.
I took a chance on it. I didn't really look at much further. I just went ahead and leapt in, and man, that is a vibes game, Justin.
Right.
Like capital V. It's really cool.
Okay.
Basically, like the setup is that you are the burnt one, and you wake up, and you're basically going on the midnight walk.
Okay.
And you come across, so I thought that you were actually playing as the character that's like on the box art, which is the little dude with the fire head.
Mhm.
But that's Potboy. He's your companion.
Oh,
And
okay. Got you.
He kind of follows you around, and you use him to help with puzzles.
Gotcha.
And like traversal stuff, and he's basically you're trying to bring fire back to this mountain, because like the fire is lost from the world. And I think the impression I'm getting is that you're in a world that was crafted by people, and
Okay.
but like basically the creation has left this world because there's no fire, so you're trying to bring fire back to like the last workbench is kind of what they call it.
Okay, sure.
But you have to follow the midnight walk.
Okay.
And yeah, it's really strong, like Tim Burton claymation vibes.
Mhm.
Like even like character designs. Like there's one character where I was like, I haven't seen Nightmare Before Christmas, but I've seen bits and pieces. Like that's just straight up like a character from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I like to the point where I'm like, oh, quasi legal.
Yeah, well,
guys,
skirt around it. Yeah.
yeah. And your main character is silent, but there's a really cool narrator that's kind of telling you what's going on.
Cool.
And there are a lot of characters that you end up interacting with and talking to. And it's really good, very natural sounding voice acting
Okay.
with like stutters and misspeaks and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It's got a decent amount of humor to it. In the second chapter, you come across the Nobody Town, where it was a bunch of people that decided that their bodies got them into too much trouble, so they did the Great Beheading, and they got a guillotine and they cut all their heads off, and they banished the bodies out of town.
Good.
And so it's just a town full of heads, and they're very aghast at you with a body coming in
How dare you?
with your limbs and your flesh sticks
Right.
and whatnot. It's got like some light puzzle solving. It's got some stealth. You do get like a matchlock gun, but that's so far that hasn't been for combat. That's also been for puzzle solving. And it's a short game. There's like 6 chapters. I'm taking it kind of a chapter at a time, so I'm only 2 chapters in.
Right.
Because it feels like a game that I want to savor.
Okay.
But there's just something about it that I'm really digging. Oh, and the music is fantastic.
Music good. That's good.
Yeah, music's good. It's really gorgeous. It's one of those things, and I've talked about this a bunch over the last few years with you, but I just love where video games are, where it's like, you can have something like a Horizon, right? Or a Naughty Dog game, and then you can have like a Harold Halibut that looks like stop motion. Then you can have this that looks like it's claymation,
Right.
and Unicorn Overlord that's just like gorgeous hand-drawn art. Just like so much variety
Right.
in video games these days. I fucking love it.
Okay, so my question now is, Is it a horror game?
It's not, but I think it's a game that you would not be comfortable playing.
Okay.
Because there's just enough of like pseudo jump scares. Like they're not like overt jump scares,
Okay.
but it's enough. And it's also in
It's
first
also
person
in
to
first
begin
person.
with.
Yeah. I seeing that, I'm like, okay, yeah. I can kind of see myself not really caring for this. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I would suggest watching it, but I will say that like I think part of the reason that I haven't played as much of this game as I would like is that it is very much you need to play this at night when like the glare is off of the TV,
Okay.
and turn off the lights. And also they recommend that you play it with headphones, and the 3D spatial audio on it is top notch. And and that makes sense because it's also compatible with PSVR. I can actually see myself going back and replaying this in VR later.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm really loving it.
Cool.
It's a cool little game. I hope it gets more attention than it's gotten so far. Like I hope some of the bigger like podcasts and stuff like pick it up and
hopefully,
and play around with it.
Yeah. I mean, it did just come out, so maybe
it did just come out. But like I didn't see any. Usually with something like this, like somebody would have already like played it or something like that. But admittedly, like, well, no, I like because this does feel like a very Nextlander game. Like this feels like something that Vinny and Alex would be all over.
Right. Yeah.
So
the one thing I can say that that is kind of confusing looking from the outside in, right, is like confusing it. There's maybe one too many games coming out at the same time with the name the word midnight in the title.
Well, yeah, because we already had South of Midnight.
I was just like. I was like, I could see where that would be confusing, right? I was immediately because I kind of got confused. I was like, Midnight. I was like, isn't that the one that just? No, this is a different one, right? Yeah,
yeah. You could do a nice twofer. That you do the South of Midnight Walk.
South of Midnight Walk. Yeah, why not? Yeah. But that's good.
Yeah, and that's another one, right? Like South of Midnight has such a cool look to it that's like nothing I've ever seen.
Right.
It's just
games are neat.
Games are neat, man. I feel bad for the people who are like, man, video games haven't been good since I was 20 or whatever. And it's like, where are you looking? Games are so fucking great.
They just don't want to play video games anymore. That's basically it. So if all of them are bad now, then I don't have to play them.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's my psychiatric theory on that.
Even like all of the like anti AAA stuff, and it's like, man, like, are you paying attention? Because even in like AAA stuff, like they're doing like interesting shit, man. I was blown away by Black Ops 6 last year because it was like they didn't have to go that hard,
right?
They really didn't.
No,
those games sell, phenomenally no matter what they do. They did not have to make a campaign that good.
True, but at the same time, it being the first Xbox one, they maybe if you're gonna go hard on one of them, that might have been the one to go hard on. So
sure, that's fair. Like let's see what the next couple games look like.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Let's see how that goes.
And we're getting we're getting close to not E3 time, so we'll start to see what the last half of the year is starting to look like.
I'm curious. Yeah.
Me too.
Seems like there's definitely a lot of stuff that's been getting delayed, but there's also
a little bit here and there.
Yeah, but
we really don't know. And I mean, part of this is because I think of like people were getting out of the way of GTA, but we don't really have a good idea of what's coming out after summer.
But the funny thing is like, people were getting out of the way of GTA that got delayed. But at the same time,
May is a good time for it to get delayed though too, because like I think that that means that like it's also not going to butt up against like first quarter,
right?
Because first quarter is always usually pretty packed
for sure. Yeah, no, but a lot of the stuff that's getting delayed, we didn't even know was coming out this year. So you also have that. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. I was thinking about this today. And I don't know how you've been kind of busy, so I don't know how much you've been like looking around. But does it feel like the Switch 2 hype is like oddly muted? Like it feels like it was like when they did the direct, everybody was like super hyped, and then it like quieted down real fast. Yeah. Like I don't see people really expressing like a lot of excitement, like because we're almost there.
Well, they
like,
did they did the pre-order, right? They already did that. Right?
They did the pre-order, yeah, and so people got it or didn't.
Yeah.
But like but we're like a month out, and it's like I'm not seeing like a lot of like that build
do
up.
really wonder how much the $80 for Mario Kart thing really negatively affected that thing. And affected
and
that
the potential for the system itself to go up, right?
Like it came out and people were hyped for it, right? Because of Switch 2. That's great. This thing is really cool. All the games are $80, and then there was kind of like immediately, like the next day, like a lot of backlash about that, and they did not back down or anything like that, because that's what they're doing. They're Nintendo; they can do it. And so
it's I mean, definitely that for the games, but then the hardware is definitely a U.S. government tariff thing.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, you also have that. I forgot all about that. Yeah, absolutely. You have that whole thing going on. It's gonna be hard to say, and it's not like, I think the big thing is like Mario Kart's a big deal. It's going to sell that system to, a lot of casual people, but a lot of the people that are going to buy Mario Kart and are really excited about Mario Kart probably won't buy that thing on release. You know what I mean? Like to get your hardcore people are going to buy it, right? They're just going to do it. But to get like the real hype behind it, like you almost want like a Zelda type thing to come out, because that gets like the really like the really hardcore people into it, right? At least in my opinion.
Well, the hardcore people, but I think the Mario Kart is like that. That's going to get targeting the masses.
The casual people into there. But then again, the casual crowd usually buys these things years after.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's an interesting play. Like I know what they're going for with it, but I'm not sure that's the crowd you sell a system to at launch. It doesn't matter ultimately, because they probably sold out their pre-orders and did all that.
Oh
stuff.
yeah, it's gonna like I should be clear that I don't think that this is indicative of like how the system's going to perform. It's going to sell gangbusters.
Oh, it's going to do great.
Like,
yeah,
even at the price point, I honestly like it was kind of almost telling that like because there's so many like hardcore like Nintendo Switch people, and they're like, oh, the new Switch isn't worth this, and it kind of like they're almost outing themselves as like, it's like, you know that like this thing isn't like the system that you love so much, it's not that great,
right?
But the Switch 2 actually looks like a huge like step up
for it,
to me it's totally justifying the price,
right?
But I found that kind of telling.
But there's also alternatives to that thing too. Like there's a Steam Deck and stuff now, so that kind of, like, I mean, a lot of people that bought a Switch or whatever weren't going to buy a Steam Deck, and vice versa, I guess. But like,
I don't know that that's really
well. I know I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like there's other things that do kind of what the Switch 2 is doing already, if that makes sense. It's just not like that mind blowing, I guess. At least not to me. And I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I mean, it's cool, but like, I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's just not something to get hyped over. I don't know.
Well, you and I were never going to.
No.
But I just find it interesting that it feels like the hype around it super died down, and maybe a lot of that is just like all of the uncertainty with the tariff situation and shit like that. There's also the fact that like they didn't really show a lot of like actual new stuff that's available for launch. Donkey Kong's not even coming out for like a month or so after.
Like the hype for that thing is when you show the games that are coming out. Like, and they really showed like what, two couple games like for that specifically, right?
Yeah, and then a lot of stuff where it's like, oh shit, like it can run
these
stuff.
things
that's
that
awesome.
We can already play on other stuff, right? Like,
yeah.
And that's cool.
Again, if you only have a Switch,
it's awesome
because it's like,
it's
you can finally play this
right?
stuff.
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like your hardcore people that are probably pre-ordering that probably already have something else that they can have played that stuff on if they really wanted to,
Yeah.
But hard to say.
Also worth noting, you know, and I only say this because we talked about the Xbox stuff a little, like a couple episodes ago.
Mhm.
So we're, you know, worth calling out Sony as well, is that Sony has laid the groundwork for saying like, yeah, hardware is probably going up
Yeah.
because of tariff shit.
Yeah.
So
Probably.
and I went ahead, and so that caused me to preemptively buy an extra DualSense, like while they're still at the
Probably
current
the way to
price
go.
point.
Yeah.
Also because I was like, oh, that's a cool color.
I got a cool blue one that I still have not taken out of the box. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't really mess with your PlayStation.
No,
all that
I
much.
don't. But where I've been going and playing video games, they have a PlayStation 5, and that's what I've been doing. But at the same time, like, yeah, I don't play my own very often. But I do sometimes. I always try to have a backup controller because I tend to break controllers sometimes. I'm bad about that. I don't even mean to. It just kind of happens.
I don't break controllers. I just had like with PlayStation the last couple generations, I've just kind of like collected cool controllers.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah.
Like I always buy 2 controllers, I always buy an extra controller when I buy a system.
Yeah.
Especially with like rechargeable controllers, because I like to have like one charging and then one, you know,
Yeah,
that
for
I'm
sure.
playing. You know, sort of like for last gen when they had like the 30th anniversary
Yeah.
PlayStation 1 controller.
yeah,
I got
yeah,
that. And then my PlayStation 4 Pro, it had the God of War controller.
Right.
Although I don't think I didn't use the controller for that.
Yeah.
But it was there.
Right.
But then here it's like, you know, I bought an extra controller at launch,
Right.
and then they released the indigo purple and like the kind of the fuchsia one.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, those are cool. So I got those, and those are the ones that I'm using right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the controller that came with my PS5 Pro is just in the box
Right.
for
There you
whatever.
go.
But then I ordered the it's like the chroma teal, which looks like really
You're definitely
cool.
collecting some PlayStation controllers for sure.
Yeah, I missed out on the Astrobot one. I
Yeah.
really wanted that one.
I do.
but
I guess I do that with
flew off the
Xbox
shelf.
ones, but I have 2 just sitting here. I have like a weird, like a gold one, and then I have my weird purple pink one that I kind of like, and then I somewhere over here I have a clear one, which I thought was pretty cool.
Nice.
I used to love those old Xbox, like OG Xbox ones that were clear. Those were the good ones for some reason. I don't know what the hell it was with those, but they were like those things like withstood a lot of shit. I don't know what the difference was in it, but they just did.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just tend to, and they always break in like weird ways. It's never anything like oh yeah, no, I dropped this and now this thing's broken. It's like, oh yeah, all of a sudden this button doesn't work. I don't know why. It's just like random shit. Like my I'll never buy another Pro controller because of this, because now I'm paranoid about it, to spend that much money on it and then have something go wrong with it. But apparently it was a really common thing. Like the right bumper on the Pro controller just stopped working at some point.
For the Xbox?
Yes.
See, my issue, you mean the Elite, right?
Yes, the Elite. Sorry.
Yeah. So my issue, like everything's working fine, but the rubber grip is coming off, and it's like very distracting in playing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like I really only use it for when I'm playing PC games here, and I haven't been using it, and that's a shame, because like it was a rechargeable controller, which I liked, because
The reason I got it was for the PC, because I was like, oh, it has those little paddles and shit. I can put like some of the like Skyrim modding and shit like that. Sometimes I need an extra button here and there. That would be perfect for stuff like that. And then like all of a sudden, like the right bumper just stopped working. And I was like, all right, well, I'm never buying one of these again, because that's too much money to drop on this for this to happen. Not that I couldn't try to figure it out how to fix it, but I
was really hoping that for the Switch 2, Nintendo was going to be like, yo, extra face buttons, because somebody needs to do it. God damn it.
Yeah.
It's been it's long past due. We need more buttons. We like, people are trying to map too much shit to like the same buttons, and it's getting messy, and we either need 2 extra face buttons, or we need to cram like an extra shoulder button in there somewhere, or 2 shoulder buttons
I'm not
in there
even
somewhere.
opposed to really figuring out how to really utilize like the Pro Controller paddle type thing and do something like that, because I didn't hate those. Those were okay.
My problem, it's hard. I tried, because like I had set up like the Elite controller on my Xbox to map L3 and R3
Yeah.
for like, first person games and stuff like that. But I just couldn't get into the muscle memory of pressing those instead of clicking the sticks.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe you could. If it was, especially
if I had to, right?
Right.
Like,
if you had to, or if it was like, maybe we put like some like things that you don't need to do all that often on these back buttons here, like that way you're like, oh yeah, I need to do this one kind of obscure thing, and here's the button for it, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
you could figure it out, but I don't know. There's probably ways to do it. We'll see if anybody actually does. I kind of have my doubts.
Yeah, we'll see. Speaking of Xbox, it's been a banner year for them, and Doom: The Dark Ages came out this week.
It sure did.
And I played through the first chapter yesterday because it came out for like Game Pass yesterday.
Sure.
Yes. You could pay extra to play it early.
The cool, yeah,
early access. Which a bunch of people did. It continues to impress me. Like, there's so many people that I saw on Blue Sky where they're like, well, that's a wrap on Doom: The Dark Ages. So I'm like, God damn.
That's we were talking about like, well, what can Xbox do to get people to pay for these games that are on Game Pass, and maybe that's the way. Like,
they've been doing it. I've definitely commented on that before. I find it amazing because it's like you just have to wait a few days, y'all. And it's like in your membership.
What if I could play it now, Julian?
Yeah,
I have nothing better to do. I've been there so many times. I'm not gonna lie, that might be me with Fable. Yeah, right. Like, I've been there so many times where I'm just like, I really can't wait to play that game, and I have nothing to fucking do right now. I will gladly pay whatever it is to get this now.
Well, that was my thing. I was like, I don't need Doom can get delayed. It's fine. I got other shit to do.
Yeah. Not every time, for sure. Not every time, but there are definitely the games where I'm just like, that's what I want to do right now. And if it was out, I'd be doing it right now, and I could be doing it right now if I just give them whatever money. And I mean, to be fair, it does usually come with other stuff that I'm probably going to buy a lot of the time anyway, that I may or may not play, like the fucking season passes and all that bullshit. But yeah. Anyway,
it's really cool, man.
Cool.
It's kind of everything that I was hoping it would be. And I got my hopes up when they said, like in preview coverage, they had said that in Doom Eternal, you were a fighter jet.
Right.
In Doom: The Dark Ages, you're a tank. And I was like, that's what I want. Like, Doom Eternal was just like way too fast for me. And it was a combination of things. It was that, the difficulty started off at like, where the last game ended.
Right.
Like, that's where they expected you to start.
Yes.
I had to drop it down to the easiest difficulty. And even then I couldn't hang.
Right.
Also, like they had this, really elaborate gameplay loop where, it was like you had very limited ammo and you had to do like specific things to get your ammo back.
Yes.
On top of like having to use like specific weapons to kill certain enemies because that was the most efficient way to do it. Which Doom 2016 had some of that as well, but it wasn't like you needed to do it that way. Like, you could get by with like your favorite bread and butter weapons, and then if you wanted to, or you were running low on ammo for them, you could switch over to something that would probably be more efficient to kill a certain enemy, but it wasn't like crucial, where in Doom Eternal it was pretty crucial.
Right.
And then also it just felt on a controller, it was just like way too much finger gymnastics, and it really felt like they wanted you to be playing it like on a keyboard and mouse setup.
Yeah, that is the vibe I got. It was like it is a mouse and keyboard ass game. Like, they really designed it to be played on PC. And
I think the really telling thing for me was really early on, like you fight the small versions of the spider enemies, like the brain spider enemies, and they have like a cannon on the back or a gun on the back, and you're supposed to like hone in on that little bitty gun and like shoot it off.
Yeah.
And then also the revenants with their rocket, their shoulder rocket launchers,
Yeah.
you're supposed to shoot those off also, and it's like I don't have the precision to do that on a controller.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's tough on console. Yeah, that's really it's tough to have that kind of precision on that for sure.
Yeah. So here it's a slightly slower paced game. I still think that your character moves at a pretty good clip.
Yeah.
I'd say it probably splits the difference between 2016 and Eternal.
Okay.
It's nice. It starts you off with the combat shotgun. Like, they're not fucking around this time, like, and the big thing, as you've probably seen in preview coverage, is that you have a big ass shield.
Yes. I've actually watched a decent chunk of this game, to be fair. So yeah, the shield seems really cool. Yeah.
It's way more clutch to like the overall like gameplay loop than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
They really want you to A, block shots.
Yes.
And B, you have a shield charge, which one, I'm sure it's already been done. It would almost make me want to play it on PC just to have a mod to where Doom Guy says charging star from like Marvel superheroes, like when you do the shield charge, because you feel like so much like Captain America when you do it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can eventually toss it too. I'm
looking forward to that.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty good. Yeah.
The fun thing about the shield charge, and I think it's actually like really indicative of the game overall, is they don't give a shit. They just want you to have fun. The range of that shield charge is you can just like leap across like the battlefield into the fray. When you get like the enemies into the stun move for the glory kill, although now I just call them executions, which I'm like, why would you not keep glory kill? That's such a good name.
Yeah, I agree.
There's glory strike now. It's a different thing.
Okay, sure.
But it's like you could just have both.
You can.
Like, it's fine. They could be like 50 feet away from you and you hit that R3 button and he just like homes in on that motherfucker and kills them for the ammo and health. And it's like, yeah, fuck it. Like, that's what this game is. It's the barrier to fun is so low in this game. And yeah, it feels really good. I really appreciate how granular you can get with the settings.
It seems that way. They have like a lot of things that you have been asking for, like you can adjust the parry window and stuff like that in there too. So
you can adjust the parry window, you can adjust the overall speed of the game.
Yeah.
And obviously like stuff like sensitivity and things like that. I actually lowered the parry window by quite a bit because I thought it was like because it felt weird where it was like, oh, that thing wasn't anywhere near me when I hit the parry button and I still parried it.
Yeah.
And even so I think it's got like six levels.
Okay.
I have it dropped down to level 2. And it still feels a little too generous, but I kind of understand why.
Yeah.
And it's because you're in these like super large arenas and there's bullets coming at you from all over the place. And I think they want it to be where it's like, if you see a green bullet like in your periphery, just hit the button.
Yeah.
And because it's not a thing that happens all the time.
Right.
But like when you see it, just hit the button. Right. And you're probably going to get it.
Right.
But it's also not like... It's not like Expedition 33 where it's like if you don't parry, you're fucked.
No, yeah.
It's more of just like kind of a bonus if you can pull it off, which is honestly what I would have preferred for Expedition 33.
Yeah.
And honestly, like these settings are what I wish that Expedition 33 had. There's actually someone that I follow on Blue Sky that did a really good review of the accessibility of Expedition 33, and they talked about a lot of the stuff that I've been complaining about that game as far as and honestly, like man, I gotta say, dude, Pat has been just he's been a shitbag about like a lot of this stuff lately as far as like difficulty.
Yeah.
He really is what Weston's going to evolve into.
There you go.
Over the next couple years. And it's like it's funny because it's like, well, just because that's your experience, like you don't get to shit on other people's experiences, right? Like, and the thing is like, I'm getting older, and that's not me complaining about my age or anything like that. It's just a matter of fact, right? Like I can feel reflexes dulling, over time, and it's having those options allows me to still play these games that I enjoy, right, and that's cool. Like I have been taking more advantage, even though I have a big ass TV, but I've been taking more advantage of like, let's bump the text on this game up a little bit.
Absolutely.
a lot of games have just like, minuscule text.
It gets bad sometimes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's nice to have, more options, the better, right?
Absolutely.
It makes it more like, honestly, I've been thinking about maybe one day picking up one of those accessibility controllers that like PlayStation and Xbox have released, just to kind of learn how to use them for in preparation of the day when maybe, I've got carpal tunnel or like, shit's not working like it used to, and I still want to play some games, because the only other option is like go back to like super old games that don't have, it's like I'll only play like
turn-based
16-bit turn-based RPGs.
Yeah.
Or just stop playing games in general, which, I don't like that future.
Right.
Again, I only played the first level, but I'm really digging it. I don't know, because this is like I'm kind of unclear about what's going on with the story of Doom now, because
apparently this is a prequel.
So I think what it is that this is the Doom guy from Doom 1 and Doom 2, but then after Doom 2 is where he ended up on this other planet, where they gave him like special powers, and that's where he became the Doom Slayer.
Okay.
So I think this is before Doom 2016, but after Doom 2? That is kind of what I'm understanding.
Probably correct. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know the deep lore of Doom.
At a certain point, I got confused, and I was like, is Doom 2016 saying that Doom 1 and Doom 2 didn't happen, but he's already the Doom Slayer? It's like, no, I think it is after Doom 2 and other stuff. And it's like, not only was he just badass as a soldier, but then he also got like alien powers that were just like conducive to fighting the demons. And so that's when they got scared.
Need a Vonti video of fucking Doom lore. Yeah, is what we need.
Yeah. So one thing, and again, this is just the first chapter, but I kind of felt this way about Doom 2016 a little bit too. I don't think the level designs are as good as Doom 1 in particular.
Yeah.
They lean more towards like much wider arenas instead of those really nice tight corridors.
Because I've been watching Pat play it, and like, that's been one of the thing he's kind of been in on, has been like, I'm just not big on like the way these levels are, because they get very like open worldy at a certain point, which is.
But 2016 was kind of that way also in some respects.
Yeah.
It wasn't as open as these are, but it was still like they were more sprawling, and they didn't have kind of that like really cool like, you go down this like windy corridor and then you hit this switch and then it opens up this whole other area and whatnot. Like, didn't kind of have that like cool wrapping back around on itself type of thing that the older games did. But again, I need to play more of it to really like form an opinion on that.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that like the last chapter or the first chapter ends with you need to get on this turret, and there's this like Titan that's coming, and it's this ginormous demon.
Right.
And there's also like tons of regular demons that are coming towards your turret. So you're just mowing them down. And, it's a turret sequence, right? And you're like, okay, so this is going to overheat, and then like I'm going to have to let it cool down. It's like, no, when you like run it for long enough, then you have this like electricity lance that you can fire, and that's what you're supposed to shoot at the Titan.
Absolutely.
And man, it feels real dang good.
Yeah.
The only other thing is that I think I need to pump the music up a bit.
Yeah,
because surprisingly they have the music turned down like by default.
Interesting.
They have like a lot, because so whenever I play a video game, one of the first things that I do is go to the options, and one of the things that I've been changing lately is I will turn background music and sound effects down to about 80.
Yeah, I can see that,
because I want to hear voices.
Sure.
But here, like, everything was actually turned down, including voices. So I just like put voices to 100, and I left everything as is. But I was like, I'm not really getting like the music, like really, in a big way. I like what I'm picking up of the music, but it's not like in my face the way that it had been in the last couple games.
Sure.
So I think I just need to bump that up.
Yeah,
but it looks phenomenal. It runs great. Fucking love that shield. It feels really good.
Yeah.
Like, I love that shield charge, man.
Yeah.
So looking forward to playing more of that.
All right.
But really, because we had to play Suffer Select game this week, and then also like I've been pretty tired.
It happens to the best of us, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing. It's getting worse, but like, So we record this, and it goes kind of late, and then I'm always like super amped after we record, so I'm up pretty late.
Yeah.
Like sometimes as late as like 3:30 in the morning,
Right.
and then I sleep in, and then I end up taking a nap at some point on Saturday, and then I end up staying up too late Saturday, and I just fuck myself for the whole week, basically.
Yeah, no, I know how that goes. Yep.
So a lot of times I'll end up like taking a nap like right after work, and then feeling like shit,
Yep.
and then eating dinner, and then like I said, I'll usually don't start playing until like 9 or something like that.
Yeah, I know the feeling sometimes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But also I was pretty glued to Expedition 33 like since the last time
Oh yeah, yeah.
that we recorded. So I put a lot, because I think I was part like a good way through Act 2.
Yeah.
I'm now in Act 3.
Right.
And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, because we spent a lot of time on it. Although I don't know, this is a good place for feedback from listeners, because like I tend to not like when podcasts like talk about the same game over and over and over.
Right.
But if they have interesting new things to say about it, I'm fine with it. I think where I get sticky is if they're playing like the same multiplayer thing all the time, and they just talk about that.
Yeah. Fuck, what was the one? The Battlegrounds was, God, it was every week. And you hear about Battlegrounds, that giant bomb.
When I was listening to Rebel FM, there was a while there where all they were talking about was League of Legends and Destiny 2.
Oh yeah.
Or sorry, Dota and Destiny 2.
Dota,
and like that, it was
Dota
like
was
almost
the
every
big,
week.
God, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I would just like tune out for like an hour of the podcast every week, because it was like, okay, I'm not paying attention to this.
I know who you're talking about.
So I will say that like I can see why the runtime is what it is, because Act 3 is pretty much how like disc 3 of Final Fantasy 7 is, which is like just go to the end.
You're just going
like,
straight to the end. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. You have an objective, and that objective is go to the final dungeon.
Clean up what you want to clean up and then go. Yeah, that's kind of
yeah. And once again, I am Bernie Sanders, and once again I am here asking you to please have level indicators on the areas in the game.
We don't want to do that. No.
Apparently they don't.
No.
It is so
I know.
I've already decided that I'm basically just going to like max out the social links for my party, and then there's like I think another I've already done one of the party specific side quests. I think there's one more.
Okay.
And then go finish it,
Might as
because
well.
the Act 3, Justin, is literally just like, all right, I've got, I can explore everywhere now. Let's go here. And then you go to a place, and you go into the place, and then here's an enemy, and you go fight the enemy, and then it's like, and I'm dead.
Yeah.
Cool. I shouldn't be here. And so then you back, you reload, you back out, you go to another area. All right, let's go in here. And then you go fight an enemy. It's like, and I'm dead. All right, so I shouldn't be here yet. So, and you're like kind of poking and prodding it, like, okay, where can I go?
I don't like
right
that
now?
Feeling. Yeah, that sucks.
It's awful.
Yeah, that's bad. I've never been a fan.
And then the other thing that I've come to realize is that I mentioned this sort of last week about the design of like just putting super bosses at the end of every like side path.
Yeah.
This game really is for the Gokus of the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's just like it's for the people who are like, I just want to fight everything in the world and see who's the strongest. And it's like, I don't give me something. And I've heard that like a lot of the rewards for this shit is like costumes. I'm like, I don't give a I haven't changed anybody's. Well, no, that's not true. I've changed a couple costumes, but to cool costumes. Like, I'm not looking to make my characters look like morons on this very serious story.
I'm the same way. I like the hairstyle stuff, because there's some of them I'm like, yeah, no, that actually looks pretty good on them. I'll change that to that. But like,
yeah, I've changed the hair liberally, because I'm like, no, this makes sense, especially for this part in the story. Like,
right? Yeah.
There's a part where like I got a messier hairstyle for Gustav, and I was like, this makes sense. Things are a little fucked up right now. His hair should be a little messy.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. Wholeheartedly here for the hairstyle thing. But yeah, the costumes. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. That's like, to me, that's like new game plus shit, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I respect the fact that they let you do that, but at the same time I'm like, but that's new game plus stuff in my mind.
Yeah. And I do have to say, story wise, no spoilers, but like I really am fascinated for you to get deeper into this game. I feel that the end of Act 2 is how most people say that Hideo Kojima's games are when they actually aren't, where it's like, what the fuck just happened? This isn't explaining anything. I'm so confused. Like what's going on? Like, you need to explain something. Where Kojima, he explains everything too much, right?
Too much, yeah.
And here it's like, you know, then this has been my complaint throughout the whole second act, and especially at the end, like at the end of the second act, is like, I liked the way that it started, where it's like, okay, you're going to get the answers as you go, right? You're going to get the context for all of this, and we're not going to spell it out for you. And it's like, no, that's cool. Like, it's an interesting way of setting up this world.
Yeah.
But then as you get deeper, there's like people who can actually tell you things,
right,
that just don't.
Okay.
And it's exceedingly frustrating. And then like Act 2 is like, okay, so what is actually going on?
Yeah, okay.
Like I could not tell you right now like what is actually happening in this game.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to judge that one for myself.
For me.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just, you know, dense and I'm not picking up on stuff, but like as far as I am perceiving things, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to finish that this weekend. Actually, I would love to come back next week and say like, I finished this and the Midnight Walk, and I got like like some good time into Doom
for sure.
I do think I'm going to delay my Persona 4 playthrough to next year.
I don't blame you.
I just don't think that I can fit it in.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so that's it for me game wise.
That's good. Well, hold on. Happy Skies Day. Yep.
Happy Skies Day to all those who celebrate.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a day.
It is a day.
Yep. Although at some point, I have to mention this. You did put, I think it was you, somebody on the Discord, I'm pretty sure it was you, put up Come On Eileen as celebrating Skaster Day. And I was like, that's not ska.
Oh, no. I posted Spam by Save Ferris.
Okay.
Because Xavier Krager had talked about Spam in the Discord.
All right. Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay. I if somebody put up Come On Eileen, not ska. That's not ska. Just want to throw that up there. They are not a ska band.
Okay.
Are
you talking about Save Ferris or the original?
No, Come On Eileen.
Yeah, well, but Save Ferris did a cover of Come On Eileen.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. That's okay. That's okay.
And Save Ferris is actually, I think, ska adjacent at least.
Let's see. Let's look it up. I'm not gonna play it on here. I just want to let's see. They are an American ska punk band. Okay, you're in the clear. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought we would. We'll see how this goes. It was a thing that happened this week that got me thinking about some stuff.
Okay,
Justin.
sure.
Because I think it's an EA game, Marvel 1943.
Oh yeah.
I think it's the Rise of Hydra is the full name. It's the game where you play as Captain America during World War II, but there's also the World War II era Black Panther.
Sure.
And then you also play as like a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. and one of like Wakanda soldiers in the game. There's like 4 characters that you get to
Can
control.
you play as Dexy's Midnight Runners?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
It'd been a better game.
But it was announced this week that it got delayed to 2026, which I was actually shocked to hear that it was supposed to be out this year. Because
this was the thing I was thinking of when I was like, things that got delayed that I didn't even know were coming out this year. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because like they showed,
that's the thing.
They showed like a cinematic announced trailer. And then I think it was last year at like the Unreal Engine Summit, they showed off like some of the tech of the game.
Sure.
So they had it's like a cinematic that they stopped and paused and moved around to show how you could manipulate it in real time.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like we haven't seen like what the gameplay looks like or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's no way this is coming out this year.
Right.
But that got me thinking. I was like, you know what? There's like a lot of superhero games that have been announced that like we don't know shit about.
Right.
So there's an Iron Man game that I just remembered this week.
There sure is
was
an Iron Man
announced.
game, yeah, somewhere.
There's a Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin game that
I forgot
got
about.
announced,
Yeah,
and that's it.
yeah.
There's Wolverine, which we got a teaser trailer for, and that's it.
We got a teaser trailer for it. It did have that one leak, but at the same time,
there was a leak, but that stuff was super early.
Yes, it really looked. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think there was another one. Well, Wonder Woman got canceled.
That's canceled. Yeah.
But it's worth mentioning because that had been announced, and then we didn't see shit about that for like
anything.
5 years.
Yeah.
And it kind of got me wondering. I was like, what's going on with superhero games, man?
Yeah. My just snap judgment call here, but it seems like they started development at kind of the height of a lot of that stuff, and then maybe the hype has died down for that stuff a little bit, and so they're maybe backpedaling. I don't know. Or they just
but we haven't, other than Wonder Woman, we haven't heard that the stuff has been like canceled or anything like that.
True.
So Wolverine is absolutely coming out.
Yeah. So and the hype for superhero games is still there because of Spider-Man and stuff like that. Like that game does really good job, or good numbers anyway. I don't know. Maybe they're really afraid that they're going to get it wrong, so they take a little bit of Avengers, if anything, was a lesson on like, hey, don't fuck these up.
I can see that like getting people to be gun shy.
Yeah.
And so that was the theory that I had. The other theory that I had is that you kind of had, and I mean, this goes back to 2009, but really Batman Arkham Asylum raised the bar for superhero games, because up until that point we had plenty of superhero games, but for the most part they were licensed,
pretty middling.
Like,
they were
like
not,
they were kind of mercenary jobs. You had a couple of your standouts. You had like the Neversoft Spider-Man games on PS1. You had the Spider-Man 2 movie game on PS2, which was super popular.
The Hulk Ultimate Carnage game or whatever. The Hulk one. I always liked the Hulk one. I can't remember what the fuck. Was it Ultimate Carnage that was the good one?
Ultimate Destruction.
Ultimate Destruction. I knew there was an Ultimate in there. I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah. You were thinking Maximum Carnage.
Yes, I was combining the two. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That one was good.
Yeah, but for the most part, like they were like, you knew what you were going to get, and like if you were a real big fan of the character, then you went ahead and bought it anyway, right? Like,
yeah.
I still want to play the movie Captain America and Thor games, because they like one of like Captain America was basically like Arkham Asylum combat,
sure,
and then Thor was basically God of War, and I'm like, that
makes sense.
Those fit those two characters pretty well.
Yeah.
There's also a Black Panther standalone game.
Yeah,
that apparently is being made.
I forgot about that.
So yeah, it's really weird, and yeah, I think the Avengers thing is part of it.
They're probably it's that, and you probably have Disney looking over your fucking shoulder, making sure that hey, you got to do this right. Yeah, everything has to be thin a certain, especially some of that stuff like the Spider-Man, and I'm guessing to some extent the Wolverine game. They're still like Fox properties, right? Kind of like they have Sony kind of has rights to that stuff or whatever.
Sony still has the rights to Spider-Man,
right?
X-Men is now fully under Disney.
X-Men is Wolverine though?
Yes, all the whole kit.
And caboodle. Okay, I don't know how all that stuff exactly works. Okay,
yeah. X-Men and anything like that falls under the X-Men umbrella is now
interesting,
like fully Disney.
Okay,
that's why you've had lately like movies based on like Morbius and Madam Web.
Oh,
and
I know.
Yeah. Because the deal to have Spider-Man in the MCU precluded Sony from making a Spider-Man standalone movie, but they can still use Spider-Man characters.
Right. Yeah.
So that you also got Venom and all that shit.
Oh, dear God. Yeah. I mean, Venom's a big deal. That's a big deal. Like, you can do some shit.
I don't know
Venom.
why you try to make a movie out of Morbius and Kraven.
That's insane. That's just insane. An insane thing to do. But here we are.
Mm-hmm.
They did it. But like, I imagine you have Disney breathing down your neck, especially now.
That makes sense. I really love the fact that we have the technology now to really express these superheroes the way they deserve to be expressed.
Sure.
Right. But with that also comes like, you also, for like Spider-Man and also I'm sure Iron Man, it's like, you got to have like a full city for them to be able to play around in because they can move around so quickly.
Yeah.
So that's probably an element of it too. The Wolverine one, I feel like that's what I'm surprised that we haven't seen yet, because that seems like you could do a much more focused game. I'm still have it be like a AAA experience, obviously, but like, I don't think that Wolverine needs to be running around in like a fully open environment.
Well, it's close to not E3 time. So I'm wondering how much of this
it feels
stuff,
like it's time.
You're right. I'd be surprised. I'd be kind of surprised if you don't see anything about Wolverine. That would be kind of weird, almost telling, right? Like you're almost like, oh, I don't know, maybe
like, what's going on, guys?
That might not be. It might not be going well.
I mean, let's give credit where credit's due, right? So in this generation, Insomniac has released Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, and Spider-Man 2. That's kind of put them ahead of most developers as far as like output this generation, with the exception of like Capcom.
Oh yeah,
right. Capcom is like releasing stuff like yearly. At least.
Yeah, there's like something every year, and it's usually pretty interesting.
And RGG, right? They're
prolific. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, other than, I mean, that'd be my theory. Is you have Disney, they probably have their fucking 2 cents, and I'm gonna guess that is not an easy thing to deal with. I imagine that's why a lot of the Star Wars games were doing weird shit for a while, and still probably is not a real fun property to work on because of the Disney influence and stuff like that. I don't know how hard they are to work for, but I just have a feeling, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a lot of sending back for approvals.
Right. Yeah. Like I bet that's what keeps the fucking shit taking so long, because you're like, okay, let's make sure this is going to be okay. And then, somebody plays through the whole thing or does whatever, and it gets sent back. And then there's probably a whole corporate bullshit thing happening on that front, because they're probably real protective of some of that stuff.
For sure,
and rightfully so, I guess, to some extent. But yeah,
and I'll play it, and I'll buy it and play it regardless, because it's Insomniac, and also like I like superheroes. But like, if Wolverine comes out and there's a cutscene with him and like whoever the female lead is, and she isn't taller than him by like a good number of inches, they done fucked up,
right? Yeah. Yeah. Well,
and I know that like he's gotten tall over the years because Hugh Jackman played him, and also like artists had even back in like the 80s, artists were trying to like make him taller because they thought he was so cool. They didn't like him being short, but that's the whole fucking point.
Well,
it's awesome that he's 5'2".
Yeah.
Or I think he's or maybe he's 5'4". Whatever it is, he's short for a dude.
He's short, yeah.
But he packs a wallop.
Yeah.
Because
sure,
he earns the name.
He does the job. He does his thing.
But yeah, I just I thought that would be interesting to talk about, because like, and there's also an element of like AAA game development, right?
Yeah, there's that too on top of everything.
Yeah, like stuff ballooning, and man, I wish that we had more insight into that, because like a lot of times it seems like there might be just like a lot of like mismanagement or people like doing more work than they need to, like, and this goes all the way back to 7th gen, but I will never forget the story of the artist on Final Fantasy 13 who had been working on the same rock for like 3 weeks.
Sure.
Part of it was because like they had to make it look as good as possible, but the other part was that they weren't given anything else to do.
Yeah. So
they just kept like reworking this rock because like that was their assignment.
Right.
And there wasn't like a really good like workflow of let's move on to the next thing. This looks good.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably a big element of that to these really large projects.
Yeah, I would not doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like there's been a lot of like hubbub with Expedition 33 where it's like, oh, they're destroying the AAA industry, like, or the business model, because like they made this super successful game on a small budget with a small team. And it's like, I don't there's conflicting reports about like how small that team actually was.
Right.
Like it sounds like the core team was around like 30 to 40 people,
Sure.
but I think in the credits, like there's plenty of,
you can do a
extra
lot.
staff.
You can do a lot with freelancing and and stuff like that. You can get some people to work on your thing. That's just how that goes. But
and the word is that like they worked on this game for 6 years, and like that's the average length for a AAA game these days. So that like come at me if or not come at me. I want to hear it if like they produce this game in like 3 years, right, and it looks this good and it's this polished and whatnot. It's like, okay, that's impressive, right? But 6 years to me sounds like that's a pretty big budget, unless they weren't paying their people shit.
About average AAA time for the most part. Like, about 6-7 years or whatever. From what I always understood anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And it's it's really hard. Like I know that like the director had said they wanted to make a game that looked AAA on a AA budget, but that doesn't mean anything without the numbers to back it up. Like what comparatively was the budget of this to say Final Fantasy 16, right? I would love to know that, but
that'd be interesting.
I lost my train of thought. I was really passionate about this, and then I lost my train of thought.
Okay,
and it really
You're
sucks.
doing fine. You're doing fine.
No, it's all falling down, Justin. Everything sucks.
It's okay.
The
team, they made a thing. They made
a thing.
It was good, but
that's where I was getting to. Thank you. Because I've been thinking about next gen, and honestly, like there's with all the uncertainty of like the world economy and shit, it would be really swell if like Xbox and PlayStation decided to delay their next consoles by a couple years at least. But even if they don't, I think what I want next gen to be, instead of being like a really huge leap in power on consoles, is facilitate game design. And I feel like we're getting there. Like, it seems like Unreal Engine 5 is starting to like kind of find its footing, because Expedition 33 is an Unreal 5, and you can kind of see where it's like, oh yeah, they were able to like pull off like stuff kind of above their weight class type of thing, right? With like the nanite and lumen stuff, like it allowed them to like kind of create stuff in a way that maybe would have been harder for a project of that caliber to do last generation, right? And because what really needs to happen is we need to get back to a way for top of the line games, where if you want to call them AAA or whatever, like the leading stuff, right? The stuff that you're showcasing at your Game Awards or your E3s, or showing off your new hardware with, those types of games, your first party stuff, your big first party stuff. Like we need to get back to the point where it's like they can make those games in 3 to 4 years instead of 5 to 10.
Right.
And that's the thing where I'm really hoping that like something gives at some point, because it's not sustainable. It's just not.
No, probably not. No.
Yeah. And I'm all for like games scaling back in quality. Like I may be a graphics snob, but that doesn't mean, again, it's like I love looking at the Midnight Walk just as much as I like looking at that next Naughty Dog trailer, right? Or GTA 6. It's like I love the fact that all of those can exist at the same time. It's really sweet.
I agree.
And I think I've said this for years, like this goes back to like early Nerds Without Pants, that like I'm waiting for us to get to like full photorealism in games, so that then we can be like, okay, we did it. Now let's like start playing around with like art styles and whatnot, right? And let's just go crazy. And some people have.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
It's
the end.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I don't know how to end that, but it's just something I was thinking about this week.
You've had some thoughts, for sure.
I had some thoughts.
Indeed.
Yeah. Just like our listeners had some thoughts, Justin.
Oh boy.
with some comments, questions, and concerns.
All right.
We actually got quite a few since last week, so we've been going a little long, so we won't hit all of these tonight.
Okay. That's fine.
But if you have a comment, question, or concern, there are multiple ways to get at us. You can email us. The email address is thestageselectpod@gmail.com. You can comment on the episode posts on Patreon or YouTube, respectively. Or you can join our Discord. The link is in the show notes, and there is a comments, questions, and concerns channel, and you can throw them in there. This first, and these all come from Discord. The first one comes from Xavier, who says, if you guys got unlimited money and resources, but could only use it to greenlight one thing, what would it be? A store of some kind, your dream studio, a secret island bunker to hide on?
Can only greenlight one thing. I just have
Yeah,
I have infinite money, but I can do one thing with it.
Yeah, you can throw all of the money that you would ever need at it, but it's only the one thing.
Oh, okay. And is the idea to make more money off the thing, or just not worry about it?
I don't think you would work. No, I think it's whatever you want to do.
But you're out of money after it, right?
Well, you got unlimited money, so you don't have to worry about it. You just
hold on. How is the question phrased? Because it seems like I get this.
If you
one
had
thing.
unlimited money and resources, but you could only use it to greenlight one thing, what would that thing be?
Okay, so it's just a project.
I'll tell you. You know,
go ahead.
Like my real answer, and it might be the boring answer, is green sustainable energy.
Sure.
Because I feel that, like, if we don't solve that, like, nothing else really matters, because we've got like an expiration date on, like, our species.
Sure.
That's my boring answer. Like, that's really.
I don't
really
have an exciting answer. You'd probably just never see me again. I'd probably just disappear somewhere. I'd be like, I'm just gonna buy this weird plot of land, I guess, and that's where I'm at. I'd buy a building. That's what I'd do. I'd buy a whole building, like an old downtown building. Actually, I have thought about this. I'd buy an old downtown building, and I like some place, but maybe there would be like buildings on the bottom floor of it, like, you know, like the whole building, right? And I just I'd make like an old loft or something that I could live in, because I don't need that much. And then I'd rent the rest of it out, and that'd be it. I'd just hang out there. Yeah. It's exciting.
I guess my silly answer would be mobile suits. Because if the world's gonna end, like let's at least like go out with fucking cool war.
I demand G Gundam mechanics where all countries get one, and they have to battle to see which one is the supreme country.
Fucking yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Tequila Gundam for the win.
Yeah. Uh-huh. You got it. No, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's kind of similar but different. This one's from Extrian.
Sure.
We'll circle back to your other one later, Xavier. Extrian says, no barriers in your way, money, time, location.
Okay.
What's something you think you would be amazing at? He says, I think I'd be a great board game designer. I have lots of interesting ideas and have the brain to think outside the box and create new ideas.
Oh, I already have. I have this. I missed my calling as a fucking music producer. Okay, I really did. I don't. Okay, I'm not particularly skilled in playing any instrument. I can play a lot of things, not exactly great at any of it, right? But like, I can tell you what's wrong with your fucking song, like almost every time. Like play anything around me, and I'd be like, okay, this is good, but it goes on too long here. It does this. Like, okay, Metallica is the perfect example. Everybody's always like on Metallica, especially at a certain point. If you would watch anything about Metallica, it was always like, well, at the Black Album, everybody thinks that Metallica sold out. It's like, no, they got a fucking producer that told them, hey, maybe you don't need to play a fucking guitar solo for like 5 extra minutes. Maybe just cut that. Maybe just save that for down the road. Maybe just make it an actual like song. How about that? You know, that's crazy. But shit like that, like it's that I could do that. I would tell a lot of these metal bands, like, listen, you're just playing like the same riff for about 3 minutes there. How about maybe just 30 seconds of that? Maybe, just cut that down a little bit. I remember being in with a friend of mine, and this was a band that I became the bass player because they needed a fucking bass player. So I learned how to do that, to play in this fucking band. But anyway, it was my friend and my other friend, and one was playing drums, one was playing guitar. They were working on a song that they were writing. Got to this one part, and I was sitting there listening to it. I was like, stop everything. This is really bad. And they're like, really? But what do we do there? I'm like, listen. There's potential here, but if you're gonna say, like, you either cut this part of the song, or you gotta fucking like actually like scream it like you mean it, because otherwise it just sounds like you're moaning and it's fucking terrible. And he was like, all right, I'll try screaming it. And he did. And I remember like watching my friend who was the drummer at the time, just his face was like, oh, that works. I was like, thank you. You're welcome. Anytime.
Yeah.
But yeah, I miss my calling there.
Ooh. Yeah, that actually, okay. Because this might, I'm sorry, I'm making a note to add something to my Cinnamorons list, although this one might not hit the way that I hope it does,
okay, but
it's still worth talking about one day.
Sure.
Yeah, I saw this question come in, and I thought about it pretty hard, especially in the dark moments when I was playing Desert Bus this week.
Absolutely. You want that, yeah.
For
oh,
Select.
Boy. Yeah.
I don't know that there's really much that I would be amazing at, honestly. Because, my plan before the pandemic was that I was going to move to Colorado Springs, move in with my friends that live there, and open a video game store. Because, like, I'd be living with them and have, like, lower rent and stuff like that. And then also, like, my friend Shanna was going to, like, work in the store with me, and Joe was going to be, like, my accountant. And,
sure.
I thought I could have made a go of it. But then the pandemic happened. And then also, like, just there's a couple things where it's like, the used market went crazy.
It did some wild shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I've really learned is that, like, Blu-ray games are really hard to resell. Like, they're apparently, like, way more fragile than DVD-based games.
Interesting. I did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also just the consoles themselves, it's really difficult to, like, test them before you buy them back from people, and there's a lot more failure points.
Yeah, for sure.
It would be a thing where if I did do a used video game store, I would have to, like, cut it at PS3 generation and be like, we don't go past this.
Yeah, right.
And that has, like, a much more limited appeal. So that doesn't really spark as much joy in me as it used to.
Sure.
I think I could be a pretty good smut writer.
You could probably do that. Yeah, I could see it.
Because I've written some smut in the past, and the people who have read my smut have been like, that's some pretty good smut.
There you go. And
I would want to do like actual, like, fantasy smut where it's like, hey, like, these are good characters and it has an interesting world and story, but also there's boning.
Yeah. Just don't lore dump. For the love of God, don't lore dump on me. Oh, that's bad. Oh, man.
Well, I mean, not you don't dump it. You have the lore interwoven throughout the story.
Yeah,
like
I know. The last, like, fantasy one of those that I played was just, like, all about just, like, let's take about 20 minutes of just you sitting here looking at this thing, and let's just explain everything that's happening. And I'm just like, no, please don't. Stop. God, I get it.
But honestly, what I came to is this. I think I'd be pretty amazing at this if I could, like, do it, like, if I could just do this. But what I'd actually ultimately want to do, Justin, like, if we didn't have to worry about time, money, whatnot, is, like, I would like to continue to make podcasts with you.
Sure.
But also, like, move nearby to where we could do in-person stuff and actually do, like, a Game Grumps thing on top of it.
That'd be fun.
Where you're the one playing the game, and then I'm like the Dan Avidan of the duo,
sure.
just, like, talking shit while you're playing.
Right.
Because you're super entertaining when you're playing a game. I'm not. I just, I get pissed and cuss.
Right.
But I think you're already really funny playing games, and then I can play off of that.
Sure.
So like getting to do that like in person, and then also just like recording like podcasts and having the time to play games, so we have more games to talk about on said podcasts.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Like really kind of making a go of it. I think that would be cool.
That'd be fun.
Like yeah, I would have a blast doing that.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I think we'll close on this one.
Okay.
This comes to us from Mike Fallick, who says, genuinely asking because I don't know.
All right.
Can someone explain why the Nemesis system is good? Seems like people love it. From my perspective, it is only a slight upgrade version of choices in all RPGs. Telltale style Azog the Defiler will remember this. Explain it to me like I'm a child. Haley Joel Osment. Explain it to me like I'm Haley Bieber. I don't know who Haley Bieber is.
I don't. Oh, isn't that I don't know.
Justin Bieber's brother?
No, I think it might be his wife. I'm not actually sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, one thing is that I remember from talking to you in the past is that you played Shadow of Mordor on an Xbox 360, which didn't have the actual Nemesis system in it. It had like whatever they could kind of shoehorn into the previous generation version, and it didn't have like all of the like actual nuts and bolts to it. It was like a very like shallow version of the Nemesis system. I do remember that from talking to him back in the day.
I'm sorry, which one? I was looking up Haley Bieber, who is Justin Bieber's wife. What game was it? I'm sorry.
Shadow of Mordor, like the Nemesis system. Like,
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Mike played the 360 version of it, which had like, you know, it was a vastly scaled down port of
I didn't realize
a game that was designed for the PS4
okay,
and Xbox One.
Got you. Okay.
So I do remember that from his experience. So that's probably why it didn't do anything for him when he experienced it, because he didn't really experience it.
Right.
But the Nemesis system was just this incredible, like, procedurally generated way of dealing with enemies and AI.
Right.
Not only would they like remember previous experiences with you, but they would change based on previous encounters.
Yes.
And they were also roaming the open world in real time.
Right.
Which is like that's kind of a huge part that I think people forget. So
yeah. And it wasn't just like you know, like a gameplay choice that they remember, you know, like he's kind of saying. It was like, no, you beat them with like fire arrows. Now they fucking remember that, and they come back with like anti-fire armor or whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah. Or if you set them on fire, they're now terrified of fire.
Or afraid of fire. Yeah, now they have a paranoid fear of that. It's all gameplay focused instead of like, no, you just picked a thing in a dialogue and now they're this, right? Like it's different.
Yeah, it was like an organic. It reacted to like how you actually like played the game,
right?
Like in combat and stuff like that. But also, so like I will sing the praises of Zogdush Ghoullover till my dying day, because he was my nemesis in Shadow of Mordor.
Right.
Because on my first fucking mission, Zogdush Ghoullover interrupted my mission and killed me, and then leveled up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I encountered him again a couple missions later, and I think he killed me again and leveled up. And I was like, it's on. And so then I went after him. Like I found him on the map, and I was, because you could take revenge on Uruks that had killed you. Like they would show up on the map as like, you can turn this into like a side mission.
Right.
And I was like, I am going after this motherfucker.
Right.
Like this is personal now.
Yeah.
And so then I got my revenge, and then it just started to go back and forth for like 80% of my runtime of that game. And like at one point I cut off one of his hands, and so then he had a claw hand.
Right.
I set him on fire at one point, so then he had his face bandaged up. And like he would come up, he's like when that happened, the next time he came up, he's like, look what you did to my face.
Right.
You know, and like sometimes he would be too much for me, and I would run away, and then the next time he would taunt me for the fact that I ran away.
Right.
It was incredible, and he leveled up so much through the course of the game, because also they would encounter other Uruks in the wild, and they would fight each other.
Right.
And if they won, they would level up more. So it's not just in relation to him beating you, but he would also beat other enemies in the game and get stronger.
Right.
And he got to the point where he was impervious to everything, but he was afraid of fire. So he was afraid of fire and he was afraid of bugs. So the only way I could actually damage him is if I played into one of his fears.
Right.
So I had to set up situations where I could actually get him maneuvered near fire so I could set him on fire, and then that would break his defenses so I could kill him again.
Right.
And like the game, like in the final battle, like your number one nemesis shows up again. Because at a certain point I actually killed him for good.
Right.
Because I think if you decapitate them, they're off the board permanently.
Sure.
And that kind of ruined like the last bit of the game, because I was like, oh, my Joker's gone.
Yeah.
But then he came back one last time and I was like, fucking A, man. It was so cool.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So there was that element of it. But the other thing that I think also gets forgotten is that this could happen to any of the enemies.
Yes.
So even just like your random grunt enemy, if they got the best of you, like if you got surrounded in a fight and, you know, one guy got a lucky shot and killed you, they would get a name, a title, level up, and become a captain.
Right.
And then they could ascend the ranks from there.
Right. Yes. That was the thing. So yeah. So that's kind of what made that special.
Yeah, it was just so dynamic. And like what I've always wanted to do is replay Shadow of Mordor and then go into Shadow of War on the same console. Because what happened, I beat Shadow of Mordor on my PS4, and then I sold that PS4. And by the time Shadow of War came out, I think I had mainly been playing on Xbox One at that point. So I played Shadow of War on the Xbox One.
Sure.
But there is a part in Xbox One or in Shadow of War where if you have a save file from Shadow of Mordor, your nemesis from Mordor shows up in this one like story bit.
Okay.
And I want to have that experience because I could tell that that's what it was supposed to be, but they just invented some random character because there was no save data for me. But I was like, I want to experience that.
That'd be nice.
That would be like really cool.
Right.
And it just boggles my mind that WB owns that, and they also have like the Batman game franchise. And like, how did nobody decide to make a like year one Batman game where like the random like gangsters that you encounter throughout the course of in Gotham City gain ranks?
That'd be pretty good, right? Yeah.
And some of them turn into like more outlandish supervillains where they get like a gimmick and stuff like that.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Like it writes itself. I don't understand
know why they
don't
do that either. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, it was something really special, and those games are really special, and it sucks that we only got 2 of them.
Right.
Because I enjoyed Shadow of War as it was released. Like I know you know, a lot of people didn't like the grindiness of it and like the loot box stuff.
Yeah, it had a lot of baggage attached to it.
It did, but the core loop was still a lot of fun. My only real complaint was that they had multiple smaller areas, and that made things a little bit too crowded for like a lot of the Uruks, and also that ended up being that I didn't really have like a major nemesis in the second game that dogged me through the whole adventure.
Right. Yeah. Well, there you go.
But yeah, there you go. I think that's a show, Justin.
I think that's a show, Julian.
Yes, we have more comments and questions, but we'll tackle those later.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, we've been going for a while, and we also recorded another episode tonight.
Yes,
so it's been a lot.
It's been a lot.
Yeah, I'm actually like I can feel my throat. It's like, oh, you need to
Yeah,
rest.
I admittedly have been feeling that for a little bit. I'm just like, I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie.
Where can they find you on the internet, Justin?
You can find me at Tyrone Swift TV on YouTube and twitch.tv/Tyrone Swift. I haven't been streaming as of late, but I plan to find a night to do that. I'm gonna figure it out. I don't know when it'll be, but at some point I will figure it out. Maybe it'll just be Saturdays and I just have to fucking bite the bullet. We'll see.
Well, if it ends up being a different night, throw it in the Discord so people know.
I will do so, yeah.
You can find me online on Blue Sky. Just search for Julian Titus. The show is on Twitter at State Select Pod. I had some fun this week, like lampooning the fucking rebranding of Max back to HBO Max.
Oh, sure.
Where I announced that we were changing our name to Select.
Oh,
and then
good.
It changed to Stage Select Max.
Oh, yeah.
And then we decided to rebrand as the Stage Select because we heard you.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It was very entertaining for me.
That's good.
Yeah. Thanks as always to the wonderful Megan McDuffie for our theme song and interstitial tracks. Thanks to friend of the show John Gholson for being our announcer and providing us with our logo and artwork. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Stage Select. I've been Julian Titus. He's been Justin Ham. We've been the Stage Select. Signing off.
Uh-huh.
The Stage Select is copyrighted and owned by Space Monkey Mafia Productions, specializing in independent podcasting. Please consider sharing the show with your friends and support us by joining our Patreon or donating to our coffee. Thank you, and good night.